Welcome to episode 155 of Two Dudes and Some Bullshit. The date today is Monday, June the 13th, 2022. It is 6:12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My name is Dave McRae, coming to you live from the VoiceMann Studios in Toronto, Canada. He's Tony Michael in Atlanta, Georgia. And tonight, we're watching some creepy paranormal videos. Real or fake, you decide. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live, ladies and gentlemen, episode 155. Real or fake? What is it? It's going to be fascinating. We'll be watching it. We hope we'll give you the name of the channel. You can watch along with us if you want. Well, you'll be able to watch along with us here on the stream as well. And this is going to be interesting. Tony, my man, how are you?
Yes. I'm excited to do this. I think it's breathing some, more fresh air into the shows that we're doing, like the What If series and now this. It's interesting. As we were talking before the stream, what I like about these videos is they make you think. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I think you and I are going to come at it from different perspectives, whether it was real, whether it was fake. It was fake. How would you go about doing it? Stuff like that. Mm-hmm. The channel, there's a lot of these channels out there.
Tons of them.
Once I got into this guy's specific channel, all of a sudden the recommendations started coming up, and I clicked on and watched a couple of the others, but I think it's just the way, I don't even know who this guy is, but the way he formats it, he's very simple, very direct. And he even asks those questions during his videos, like, what do you think? Do you think it's real? Do you think it's not? Leave a comment. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I like that. I like that he's trying to get people to think like, what do you think we're watching here? Is it legit or is it not legit? And I think of all of these videos that are out there,
you're breaking up a little bit. Your camera's, Oh, Tony, are you there? It's paranormal, folks. It's paranormal. Wait a second, Tony. I don't know if you can I don't know if you can hear me. Tony, can you hear me? This is not set up, ladies and gentlemen. You okay. You're breaking up bad. I can't really hear you at all. Your camera's breaking up all over the place. Maybe you want to come back out, come back in sort of thing. You want to try that? I tell you, man, the paranormal ghosts do not like Tony Michael. He's going to come back. You'll see double of me here in a second, and he'll come back. He'll come back. This is great. Oh, it's totally paranormal. Mike Johnson, it's paranormal. It absolutely is paranormal. Yeah, Tony, because I think yeah, there he is. Okay, let's see if we can get him back here. Let's see if we can get him back. Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Michael is entering the room. He's there. The audio's joining.
Are we good?
We're good. You're back, baby. It was a ghost. It was a ghost.
Laura Burns.
It was Laura Burns.
Laura Burns. Shit again.
Did you guys have a bad breakup or something, or did something go down?
Yeah,
You and Laura Burns. Do you owe her money or something? Or
it was a one-nighter. But
that's what it is.
Clearly, one of us hasn't moved on.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like Laura. Hello. Time to move on. Well, you're back. Well, you know what? If it happens again, you can just log out.
Log out.
Yeah, that kind of thing. And
so what was I saying before I got cut off?
You were just kind of talking about how there's a lot of these channels on YouTube, and there's a lot of them out there, and and you came across this one, and
I came across this guy's channel. I think the way he presents it's his presentation of how he sets the videos up. I don't know if you heard this part, but even in these videos, he asks us, the viewers, leave a comment. What do you think? Do you think it's legit? Do you think it's not legit?
Right.
Thinking outside the box type thing. And I like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a shit ton of these videos out there. I think the cool part about these videos that we're watching is it's not Hollywood. It's people's cell phones. My favorites, I don't think we're going to get any in this particular one we're watching tonight, but my favorites that I have watched on his videos are the ones from like 1990 and 1980 with the old school camcorder shit. Like, yeah.
Well, you know what? I mean, I have experience with the paranormal, dating back to my second year of college, of course. But I always try to, okay, I'll just say this. I will preface my thoughts so the viewers know, those who are watching us live and those who will watch after the fact, know that if somebody was to say to me, do you believe in ghosts? I would say, well, I don't know how to answer that because, do I believe... I like to break it down. It's like, do I believe in the Hollywood version of ghosts? I don't know because that wasn't my experience. I haven't had that experience. But what I will say is that I do believe, and again, and I will be the first to say this, having a belief in something isn't evidence of that something's existence. So you can believe, in God, you can believe in the fairy, tooth fairy, you can believe in as they say, the spaghetti monster in space, but having a belief, just having a belief in something isn't objective evidence of that something's existence. So, and we all can believe in big...
I totally get what you're saying. It's like, do I believe in the Perrin farmhouse? Yes, I have physically been there.
For sure.
I've taken photos of it. Do I think something happened to that family while they were there? Quite possibly. Is it what we got in The Conjuring? Probably not.
No. Well, no, they always exaggerate for the sake of entertainment, of course. But I always try to come at this from a practical standpoint. More often than not, there are reasonable explanations for unusual occurrences. It's just because something is strange or you don't know what it is doesn't necessarily mean there isn't a reasonable explanation for it. So I always try to come at it from a grounded perspective. But for paranormal believers out there who may be turned off by my thoughts, I will say this, because of my experience, I do believe that there is something survives the process of death. I don't know what that is. I'm not saying it's Hollywood ghosts. Woo! I'm not saying that, but there's I like to talk about it from a point of view of consciousness, and awareness and where does the seed of consciousness lie and what happens, is consciousness and the mind and brain, are they connected? Does the brain produce consciousness and, or are they not? Are they separate? And all that. I find that stuff really fascinating because that, we can talk about our ghosts real, ghosts real. You can ghost hunt until the cows come home. But if you don't actually get to the bottom of the process of death and what happens when we die, I know I'm taking the fun out of this right now, but I'm just simply saying, but it's true, right? Like that's how I think where so I always look at this from a not cynical, but skeptical, because especially in the digital age, it's very easy to fake things. It's very easy to fake stuff. Things move, things swinging back and forth. It's very easy to do. I could do it, in a few moments. It's not hard. Everybody's got a phone today. Everybody's got a camera today. Everybody's got video editing software on their phones today. So, I mean, I come at this.
The only two things that I don't ever discredit, and I will always leave room for the possibilities, is when it comes to pets and little kids. When you're because I do believe that pets and little kids can see things that we as adults don't.
Correct.
See.
Yeah.
Especially pets.
Yeah.
If my pet is acting fucking wonky and he's just staring at a corner and growling at a corner, I'm gonna be like, all right, well, either it senses there's an animal inside my wall. That's gonna be my first, deduction that maybe an animal got inside, or whatever, or something like
mouse
that.
Or something.
Mouse, whatever, that's, but if it's not, and it, progressively gets worse, same thing with little kids. If I see a little kid just, and look, everybody's gone through the whole imaginary friend phase, but I think there's imaginary friend. And then I think there's shit that little kids do see that's like, you can't explain it. And those are the ones that creep me out the most.
Yes, I would agree with you that the animal stories and the children stories are compelling for sure. And because they are kids and because they're animals, I mean, 100%. I've heard some crazy things, as we all have. And the world is full of mysteries. The world is full of mysteries. The unfortunate part is is that it's like psychics, right? You know, it's like, are there charlatans out there and people that are lying through their fucking teeth? Absolutely. 100%, 100%. But at the same time, there might be something to it. Maybe, right? And so, you know, it's what's unfortunate, it's like UFOs. You know, it gets so saturated and convoluted with so much bullshit that sometimes it's hard to decipher, and the bullshit can you know, it's easy to replicate, right? You know, a psychic there may be a real phenomenon that is going on with legitimate people that believe that feel they are communicating, you know, whatever the case is. The unfortunate part is that you can replicate that pretty damn easy with a thing called cold reading. And that doesn't mean that all psychics are frauds, but because you can replicate the experience fairly convincingly through a thing called cold reading, you know, like now you know, it's so hard. And the same thing could happen here, is that these videos are, who knows, right? Who knows? But I just want people to know.
Well, that's like even the Conjuring series portrayal of Lorraine Warren. You know, Lorraine Warren, I think she was more of an intuitive woman, that she had more of an intuition when it came to the spiritual, when it came to things like that. Do I think half the stuff, the way Vera has played the character in the movie and the experiences that they've written in the movie, they've obviously, I think they've been Hollywoodized.
100%.
I don't think Lorraine went through 90% of, well, I know she didn't go through, you know, half of that crap that we've seen in the movie, but I do think she had some type of an intuition. Right. I do think she had, you know, to that type of connect, like, you know what I mean? That all of us, I think we possess, but maybe, you know, her senses with it were just a little bit
100%.
But we all have an intuition
for sure. And I do, and again, I do believe, again, take that, you know, that's not evidence, but I do because of my experience. Yeah, I do believe, I do think that it's entirely possible that there are certain people out there that can tap into something, and it usually comes in the way of symbols, right? And symbols in mathematics is a universal language. So it doesn't matter if you are Russian, you know, North American, Chinese, Japanese, you know, symbols is universal. And a lot of the times these mediums will receive answers or things through symbolism and things like that. Now, that doesn't mean that they're not bullshitting, but certainly it makes more sense in regards to sort of how the universe works, and that if somebody was going to say something, it would be through the use of images or symbols, or, you know, whatever the case is. Anyway, I don't pretend to know how it works, but I just want people to know that I'm not a believer in the paranormal, but because I do like to just remind people that, you know, there's a lot of bullshit out there, and when we watch these videos, I'm going to be watching it with a very keen eye and you know, kind of giving some options. I'm not going to necessarily believe it because it's got creepy music and, you know, you know what I mean? I mean, you know, so anyways, but this will be fun. Tony and I are going to give our thoughts.
Dive into this.
Yeah. Oh, and let's give a shout out to the channel. Channel, what's the name of the channel again?
Bizarre Bub.
Bizarre Bub. So Bizarre Bub, if you are watching,
or if you do watch
us, well, and these are, I mean,
check out his, seriously, you guys, check out his channel.
Check out his channel.
Of all the content creators that do this, in my opinion, I think he presents it the best way. It's
very cool.
It's right to the point. He counts it down. Not like he's not counting them down. I at first I thought, when I first came across, like, is he ranking these? I'm like, oh no, he's just separating.
Yeah, it's just a countdown. Yeah.
Clip 5, clip 4, clip 3, clip 2, clip.
Gotcha. Bizarre Bub. So shout out to Bizarre Bub. Bizarre Bub. Hey Bub. Shout out to them, of course. And so that's where we are. That's where these videos are coming from.
Are you going to be able to show it while we're streaming?
Yes, I am. I'm gonna. There you go. We're going over to the other screen right now, and oh, yeah, there we go. And you're there, right, Tony? Check. Yeah, you're there. So yeah, I'm on the other screen right now. There's a bit of a delay, of course, between us and the feed. So you'll see it pop up in your feed in just a couple of seconds here. But you'll probably have to watch it.
I wonder if it's more of a delay for us, but not for them. You know what I mean?
No, it's a delay for them too.
Is it?
Yeah. So what I'm saying right now, I've already said to them like 15 seconds ago. Anyway,
That's like a Spaceballs moment.
it is like a Spaceballs moment.
When is now?
When is now? It's happening now. Everything happens now. It's happening now. What happened then? I passed then. When? Just now. Yeah. So you'll have to
Here, oh, you know what? They're asking for a link. I will drop the link right here now in the chat, so you guys can click on.
You can click on it, or you can, like, I'm playing it live on the show right now. So you can watch it right in the show right now if you want as well, so you don't have to do that. It all depends if it's easier, whatever you guys want to do. Tony will have to watch it separately because of the audio feed, I think. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yes.
Here.
Yeah.
Oh, although maybe not. Although, yeah, I think you will. Anyways, let's try this, shall we?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it, folks.
We're gonna do it.
All right, I'm going to hit play in 5, 4. It's the black and white one with the kid on the bed, right?
Yeah, that's
okay. All right, here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The following video comes from Jay Barari, who captured footage of something pretty disturbing inside her daughter's bedroom.
Some interesting videos.
According to her, this odd occurrence is just one of many which often occur inside her home. Now, the house that she lives in was built in the 1700s, during which numerous residents have died on the property. For this reason, among many others, she thinks her house is haunted. But the following video might just be a clear indication that her family
just stock
is being
photos,
haunted
folks.
by something.
At the moment,
yeah.
yes.
One night, while looking
that's what I like.
at a live
He
feed
adds
of
that
her
little
daughter's
flavor
security
to his
which she
narration.
installed herself to capture the strange incidents that have been happening. She sees her daughter staring at something in the dark. This is what she saw.
It's like the build up and then
right.
Yeah. So this is now okay. There's a little girl. That shit's just fucked up.
She's standing on her bed.
That's just fucked up. She's just standing on her bed. What?
Okay.
Not only that, dude, that little girl is locked onto whatever she's staring at. If you notice when Mama came into the room to pick her up,
well, she's locked at where the camera is too.
There seems to be something in the dark that's catching her daughter's attention.
It could be the camera.
Whatever it might be,
because
viewers believe that it must be terrifying, as she appears to be petrified with fear.
Well, okay.
Even more unsettling.
Petrified with fear? I don't know. Is she?
Even while being carried away by her mother.
It looks like she's looking at the camera.
Ever since this
Anyways, we'll talk about it in a sec.
Jay Barari has not been able to sleep. However, this is not the first time she caught something unsettling, as she captured something way more creepy a few months ago. To this day, she can't think of anything to explain this footage.
Scary eye.
Yeah, that's right.
One night, while being home alone, Jay Barari looks
cool
over at a security
presentation.
camera.
No, it's good. It's good.
Recording outside her house.
If you're watching this at 3 in the morning, it's great.
Absolutely. High off your freaking...
So this is the same...
Same house.
Same house, same thing. We got...
Swing starts moving.
The swing starts moving. Okay.
So that's just security camera. Okay. Oh, that was this year. I was like, wait, 8/3/2022. I'm like, wait, August hasn't come yet.
Yeah, no.
I get
okay,
it.
so...
Out of all 3 swings, only one moves by itself. Clearly, this doesn't make any sense. If there was a strong wind during the time of this recording, then all 3 swings should have been moving. Although pretty strange, it isn't as odd as the following video, which was taken weeks before this incident. One day, while walking through the woods in her backyard,
same woman,
she comes across something very unusual.
This is in her backyard.
Right.
So the bridge is also destroyed, and
okay.
I came out here because I don't know if you can see that, but it says
gravestone of Mike.
Yeah.
Is that 1943 to 54? Oh, damn, it's like a
43 to 54.
There's a dog named Mike, and there's other little stones along the path, but I can't get through.
If I found that on my property, I don't
really know what to do.
It'd be unsettling for sure.
But wanted to show
yeah, because it's further back
in
the woods. Looks like she's got beautiful property.
Absolutely.
So this is the statue.
I'd be fucking having campfires out there and shit.
That head got cut off.
Yeah.
I'd be riding my dirt bike all over that.
Totally.
Was not really happy about that.
Let's do it up.
But it could, it's really weird. So the
It's okay, folks. Calm down.
Decapitated statue.
Very strange.
Again, it's weird
because
that's
of
on
this video,
her property.
Sure.
Viewers believe that there's a hidden cemetery within the property. According to them, this might explain the strange occurrences that have taken place in her home.
It might.
Although that might be the case, nothing seems to get rid of the activity, as she's tried almost everything that's been suggested to her.
Lights going on and off.
Sage
We'll
to calling a medium, nothing appears to work, as the unusual incidents continue.
Like 1800s medium.
I know.
But one incident in particular has made her thought about
I don't know where
leaving
he
the
gets his stock photos from, but that is cool.
Jay Barari and her partner are inside the home when they hear strange noises coming from inside a room. This is what they caught.
That's the kids' room again, right? Oh, damn commercial.
Oh, you got a commercial? Oh, okay. I don't get commercials. Yeah. It's all right. You want me to pause it or?
Nope. No, I skipped it.
Okay.
So, all right. So the cat just walked into frame, and now
I'm
going in.
Yeah, we're going in now.
They're going into the room. Yeah. Now. Okay, so they hear some banging.
Some banging going on.
Hello.
I do like her house, though.
It's a beautiful house.
You know, yeah.
Beautiful house.
She's done
beautiful
some other
property.
videos.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's like an Insidious movie.
All right.
Call the Warren, not the Warrens.
As always,
right,
what are your thoughts on this?
Closet door opens.
Could it be that these strange happenings might have to do with the cemetery that's on her property? Or is there some other explanation?
There might be.
As with most videos,
they're all bullshitting.
this one remains inconclusive. Feel free to share what you think down below.
Hold on. I'll tell you when I'm at 4.
Okay. I'm at 4 now. I've just paused it.
All right. I'm getting there.
Okay. There's a big 4 on the screen.
Yep.
That's where I paused it.
I'm there.
Okay.
I'm there. I'm at 4. All right.
Okay. So
quickly recap. We got the baby on the bed staring at the camera.
Yeah.
We got the swinging. We
Yeah.
got the cemetery in the back, and we got some strange noises and the kids' little cubbyhole thing open.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
All right. So what do you think?
Well, what do I think? Okay. Like I said at the beginning.
Oh, and the light flickering.
The light flickering. Okay, right. Okay, so every single thing that I saw that is eerie is easily replicated. And that's part of the problem, is that that's not to say that this didn't really happen, but this in and of itself isn't really evidence of anything. Because, you know, again, the girl's on the bed, right? And you hear the narrator say, she's frozen in fear. Really? There's nothing about that. But him saying that, you know, just adds to the she's frozen in fear. Like, we don't know if she's frozen in fear at all. We have no idea what she's feeling. We have no idea what she's feeling. She's just, for all we know, she's having sleep paralysis. She could be looking at her dad. She's staring directly at the goddamn, like, baby cam in the corner too, right? So maybe it's got a little light on it. And she's having, and maybe we don't know anything about this family. We don't know anything about these children. The children, that child could suffer from sleepwalking.
This specific Jay Barari was the credit he gave at the beginning.
Right.
She has submitted. There are other, and
Sure.
when Dave and I do another one, I'll try to find another. It seems to me she's trying to tell a paranormal story that we've seen in movies, like the cabinet, the little cubby hole thing that opened up. We saw that in Paranormal Activity.
Right.
You know what I mean?
We saw it in Insidious.
Part 3. With the little kids.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So it's like the swinging by itself. That's
and
Conjuring.
These are things. Yeah, and they're easily done. And like I said, again, that's not saying that it isn't, but you have to look at it what was presented. So we look at what was presented, and it's like, so what do you think? Well, maybe. You know, but I mean, really the only creepy thing is the fact that she's got a cemetery on her land. That's creepy. That's weird, creepy. Yeah, for sure. But the little girl, because we know nothing about her history or who she is, maybe she suffers from sleepwalking. Maybe she suffers from sleep paralysis. I mean, and she was just doing what she's done 1,000 times before, but the mother's kind of playing into it here or whatever. I don't know. But she's clearly looking at, and as she's being pulled out of the bedroom, she's looking at, maybe it's got a little light, a flashing light on the camera. I don't know. You know,
I think her dad was standing there.
Her dad might have been standing there.
something for her not to look at her mom at all.
Yeah.
That is weird. I'm not saying, because when your mom comes in the room and, you think that the kid would, be distracted and, start looking at mom.
Yeah.
So either, like you said, she's either just been told to just look at the camera, don't look at anything else. Or like her father is standing in the corner, maybe making goofy faces while she's just looking at
It's
him.
entirely possible.
It is weird that the kid doesn't break at all. And if I were filming that in a movie, it'd be a creepy ass scene.
It would be. It would be. But who knows? I mean, the kid might be in on it. The door opening in the kid's bedroom, very easy to replicate. The swing set, really easy to replicate.
Easy to do. Even with no wind, it's very easy to do.
100%. Get some fishing line, pull that thing. Because we're watching, like most UFO videos, we're watching this through grainy, pixelated footage, and a lot of grainy, pixelated CCTV camera. A guy could be around the corner flicking the light switch. I mean,
or she could be putting.
She could be doing it
right
exactly.
There,
so I mean, but you present it in the way that it's presented. You add a narrator over it and some creepy, ominous music and whatever. Can creep you out at 2 a.m. But anyway. So those are our thoughts on that one. Let's go to the next one. Number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, here we go.
Tell me when.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I love his creepy music.
Like with most videos that come from a foreign country, the following footage has very little information, but it still speaks for itself. At the start of the video, we can see what appears to be a family who's visiting a popular spot in Japan. Now, because it's not known as to where exactly the family is at, we don't know if the place has had a history of paranormal occurrences. But based on this video, viewers seem to think that the place is definitely haunted. As one of the family members records the others, something very unsettling is captured in the video. This is what they caught.
It's obviously Asian, right?
Yep, I believe so. What am I looking at here? Oh, these things are the hand. Come on, this is. It's like I'm watching a Japanese horror movie.
I was gonna say that's pretty much every Japanese supernatural movie. You took the words right out of my mouth.
I feel like I'm watching The Grudge here or something. Again, that's the problem. Like, they're fun. The problem is that in the digital age, they're so easy to replicate.
In between the legs of one of the children, you can see what appears to be a pale-looking hand manifesting out of
should have been rubbing his crotch.
The camera. Naturally, it was upon seeing this that the person recording had to walk up to the children to see if his eyes were playing tricks on him. However, based on this footage, it seems that he saw exactly what he thought he'd seen. Viewers find this video to be genuine footage of something paranormal.
Who are these viewers that find this video genuine footage of paranormal activity?
Caught on camera.
I don't even know where they are.
Had something else been captured?
Oh, I'm about to get another commercial. But that's all right. 3's up.
Yeah, 3's up. Okay, so
right, let me hit this. I'm getting a commercial anyways.
That's all right.
2, 1.
So what do we think of this one?
I call bullshit.
Yeah, same.
I mean,
same.
It's, like you said, it's basically every Japanese. There's a guy that he's going to be coming up here very shortly. Now, the multiple videos that I've seen of that guy, there are things that I'm like, I don't know, but this, where you see the hand pop up, I mean, yeah, that's very like Grudge,
right?
Type stuff.
Right.
Fun. Like you said, I don't know where he's pulling the video from, where he's reading in the comment section. And look, I mean, remember I was telling you about a week or so ago about the back rooms become like a popular thing. There's kids out there today that believe the back rooms is a very realistic thing.
Yeah,
we can glitch into it and all that stuff like that. I mean, so
there's the Akashic records. There's all sorts of stuff.
If they're saying it's genuine, I mean,
well, I mean, who's saying it's genuine? The people that made the video? I mean,
if the people are making the video, of course they're going to say it's genuine.
And again, I mean, like as I said, it's got to be really compelling. Really compelling stuff. But unfortunately, in the digital age, like if we were doing this and this is 1995, that's a bit different, but these things are so, but I'm like you. I'm like, it doesn't make the cut for me. It doesn't make the cut. And basically what we're doing here today, folks, is that neither Tony and I are going through this to be able to prove that paranormal activity, that ghosts exist. We can't do that. But hopefully we can find a video where we both go.
And we're not saying that these people aren't being legit.
No, not at all. Not at all. No, not at all.
I just think we're looking at it more optimistically, like, okay.
Well, we're putting a critical eye to it, right?
Exactly.
You have to be skeptical. If you're not skeptical, you're gullible and you believe everything anybody tells you. There's a difference between being skeptical and cynical, right?
Everyone's saying I glitched when I said the word glitch.
Ooh.
Fucking Laura. Laura's pissed at me.
All right, let's do number 3 here. Ready?
Haven't returned her text.
All right, let's do number 3. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
In a previous video,
this is the guy.
I talked about a man who bought a house that is set to be haunted.
He's got a lot of videos that are on the internet.
An update on that story.
Let's see.
Weird
this
shit.
may just be the scariest update presented by the owner.
Let's see how we do.
Now, just as a recap, the person who bought the house is named McGrae. And prior to owning the place, the previous owner had been experiencing strange activity.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything.
This is believed to be the reason why the previous owner had sold
the house. You need more than doors opening, man.
There is.
Although it's not known if the ex-owner continues to experience odd occurrences in his
that I was telling you about. Like I said, this guy's got a lot of stuff.
Continues to be rife with paranormal activity, which McGrae has been capturing on camera ever since he moved in. But it was just recently that McGrae caught footage.
This comes out of nowhere. Yeah, at 3 a.m. this would bug you out.
For sure.
The footage.
It's the best time to watch these videos,
to say the least. Before showing that video, though, it's worth showing what occurred in the bathroom a few days before this incident. It was 3 in the morning
of course it was.
When the following happened. This is what was caught.
Witching hour.
All right, here we go.
Why does everything bad happen at 3 a.m.?
Why does he have a camera in his laundry room?
Whatever happened to getting laid at 3 a.m.?
Yeah.
Oh, it's the noises. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's open, violently aggressive.
I want to see that thing that fell out of the cupboard go back in.
So I know the arrow's pointing at the door. Oh, it's the white misty thing. Okay. I was wondering why it's pointing at the door.
I don't know.
Someone standing in a sheet?
Someone on the other side? Yeah, I don't know.
It's weird. I'm not. It's definitely weird for sure. Creative as far as like if you're creating something. Yeah. As a whatever.
McGrae believes that whatever had been inside the inner bathroom was responsible for the strange activity that occurred moments before. As with most incidents, this one has left him baffled.
It's again the looks like it was mouthwash that slid off
recent
of
footage might just be the most terrifying video he's ever caught.
With the thing opening.
The video takes place inside an upstairs bedroom where McGrae often smokes. He smokes inside because his next-door neighbor doesn't like it when he smokes around the property. After finishing his smoke, the following was caught on camera.
Yeah.
Be sure to pay close attention or you'll miss it.
God, if I could smoke and watch these videos, I'd love it. Yeah, that was weird. The shadowy entity, and then it flips into night vision.
But I mean,
why? Oh, he's blocking his face out. Okay,
yeah.
There it is again.
But these are so yeah.
It is, yeah.
He's just, I mean, you know, lights out. Anybody? Ah!
So it's basically before the night vision kicks in,
right?
That the little thing.
And there's enough time there. You could edit this.
Yeah, it's the translation's even saying that.
Yeah.
Okay, shadow's been seen before night vision kicks in.
Yeah.
It's a weird shadow. It looks like a mummy.
Looks like a mannequin. Yeah.
Upon turning off the lights, a tall figure appears out of nowhere. It appears in both rooms and stands completely still. What's even more unsettling about this
it's Michael Myers in the
is that it
bandages.
seems to be observing Maguro as he walks over to his bed. Now, for some reason, whenever night vision mode is activated on the camera, the figure vanishes from sight. It is because of this that viewers believe that the figure is always watching him, even when the camera isn't able to see it. As you can imagine, Maguro is beyond scared.
How do we know he's beyond scared? We're projecting so many assumptions onto this.
Maguro cannot just simply abandon the house, as he just bought the place.
Did he tell you that?
Considering what was caught on camera, what would you do?
If I legitimately caught that on camera,
I mean, you can check out the channel Fourth Wall, where you can find other paranormal videos like this one. If you caught something creepy on camera, or if there's any ghost videos you'd like me to check out and include in the next compilation, you can send them over to scaryvideos444@gmail.com.
There you go, folks. If you got any paranormal stuff you want to send them.
Video.
All right. Pause.
All right, paused. Okay, so...
all right, Maguro,
my man Maguro.
We're not gonna. He's like I said. This guy's got a lot of videos up.
Oh yeah, for sure. Do you know what
he's?
Sorry, I'm just gonna say. Do you know is a video that we should watch, and I could probably bring it up fairly quickly after we're done here. The 2-in-1.
Yeah.
Have you seen? So Sean Clark, okay, Mr. Halloween guy himself, Sean Clark. You all know him. He posted a video a couple of months ago, or maybe it was, I think it was 2 months ago, maybe. Unfortunately, he had 2 little dogs, and he went through a rough year where he lost both of them. And he had an experience that was caught on his, like CCTV type stuff.
Something like this.
And this is.
I don't think I've seen it, but I've heard about it.
Well, the video is really interesting. And Sean walks us through it, which is really cool. So we should show that as sort of our last kind of thing, maybe, before we jump into the Q&A. I think that would be cool. And if just give me a moment at the end, I could find it fairly fast. So that'll be cool. Anyway, Maguro.
Let's talk about our buddy Maguro. Now, I will say the bathroom stunt, creative. I like the fact that it's a flawless slide with it looked to me like mouthwash.
Mm-hmm.
It slid nicely off of that sink while the cabinet violently opened up.
Yeah.
It's creative, problem is the angle. You don't really see below. Like I would have liked to have seen almost the floor as well too, and the rest of the counter.
Right. Same.
To the vanity, so that I know there's nobody there.
That's right.
Down below, able to pull the string. The white misty figure coming in frame there in the shower. I mean, obviously that's
who knows?
Fucking someone in a sheet.
Yeah.
I mean, that's such an easy thing to do, especially with those types of shower doors. You know what I mean? That you can't. It's kind of like the Rachel. When I say the Rachel, Rachel from Halloween 5. Remember when she's taking a shower? She's naked in the shower. You can see that she's naked, but you don't fully see through because the way that glass is. Yeah. It's those types of showers that you can put someone back there and create something creepy. Now, as far as the ghost thing, I don't know. It's just again, and I don't mean could have came up with something better, buddy, because you had me at the beginning and then you kind of lost me towards the end.
I don't mean to beat a dead horse, but these things, everything I've seen so far is easily, and I mean easily replicated. And that's not to take away from I'm just saying these videos are like faking a haunting 101. Do you know what I mean? Door opening by itself, thing falling off counter. Like, I mean, I want to see fucking like a house blow up. You know what I'm saying? No, but you know what I mean, right?
Well, that's not really paranormal.
No, I know. Well, hey, tell that to Poltergeist. No, but you're right. Like, it's that thing where, well, I guess it implodes rather than, explodes. But it's that thing where these are very basic, swing set moving by itself, door opening by itself while somebody apparently is asleep. I mean, these are, and again, as Tony and I said, it's not to say that this isn't legitimate or didn't happen. The problem is they're easy to replicate. And I mean easy to replicate. And so it's like faking a ghost haunting 101. Like I said, I mean, what would you do? Chandelier move by itself, door opening by itself, you know. The more compelling stuff is stuff that, and they're easily fake too if you know how to digitally do it, but stuff that you see move through the space, you know, or somebody's walking through the space and the camera isn't stationary. And the camera, you know, somebody has their phone out or whatever, and then you see something kind of come into the space, or it's like, whoa, what the fuck is that, right? Those things are a little more fun to watch and are more interesting. But when you have a stationary camera and the environment isn't moving, you can make so many edits and fake a time code as well. If you fake a time code, you can have so many edits during a stationary cam because the environment isn't moving. Nothing in the space is moving. So you could make 50 edits in there and do whatever you need to do and put up a fake time code, and nobody knows that the thing's been cut. You know, that there's like 10 cuts in there. So it's just tricky sometimes, you know, whenever I see these, you know, the amount of CCTV camera in somebody's home, you know. But again, that's not to say that it didn't happen, but it wouldn't be like, it wouldn't, you know, there's so much of this stuff out there, you know what I mean? Anyway, let's go to number two. Number two, right. Taking a shit. Here we go.
Dropping a deuce.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Instagram user Lauren Orange had posted a video in which two of her friends are standing outside of a house
okay, let me see.
recently bought. Now, at first glance, the video seems normal. Both friends, who are actually a couple, are posing happily in front of the house while being recorded. Nothing unusual stands out until seconds later, when the following is captured. This is what was caught.
Oh,
like,
come on! What the fuck was that? A Muppet?
Oh shit!
Do you know what I will say though? It's creepy.
It's
creepy. It's creative. Yes.
From view.
It's creative. Come on!
Lauren had noticed the peeping figure.
You know, we've seen these.
Were left horrified.
If I was watching a movie,
it isn't clear if
yes,
you know what I mean, like a Paranormal Activity type movie.
Yes,
and
probably better.
This is a new couple moving into the house, and that popped up. It'd be a nice little jump scare.
For sure. If this was a movie and that kind of thing happened, that's like, yeah, that's well done. Like, that's cool. You know what I mean?
All right, pause.
But pause 1 sec. All right, paused it. Well,
I mean, that's total bullshit.
Yeah,
I mean, that's way more. But creative again, like we said, if we were watching a paranormal movie and that was in a scene, fuck yeah, I'd be like, bro, that got me. For sure. Yeah, it's always, you know, I always tell people when you're looking at, not necessarily with that, but that reminded me of this sort of rule of thumb whenever I'm looking at photos or video, because sometimes you'll see like a photo of like the corner of a wall or something, and there's supposed to be something weird in the photo. And I always tell people, well, what was the point of the photo to begin with? Like why are you taking a picture of the corner of the wall? Anyways, you know, there's a lot of fakery out there, a lot of trickery out there, and people try to, again, in this day and age, man, it was crazy. You know, when I was going through my paranormal quote unquote experience back during my second year of college, I mean, we're talking late 90s, you know, and there were no, you know, there was no social media. There was no way to, you know, shoot something and edit it unless you were going into the film lab in your film class and using the editing like there. I mean, it was nobody could just do it on their personal computers. You know, nobody could certainly do it on a phone and you know, and of course we had analog cassette tape recorders, not the digital, you know, stuff. And it was just so much more, it's so much more, and that's not to say that there wasn't fakery back then too, but today it just, that just looked like a Muppet, like, you know, a fucking animal from the Muppets. I've been in, it really did. I've been in so many abandoned, you know, buildings and homes, old historic homes that were like completely run down when I was doing my horror pictures. I never once ever felt an uneasiness. You know what I mean? Except of course my mindset in creating a photo. So like my mind is going, you know, a million different places at once, getting the right lighting and all that shit. But I never, and no one, even any of the girls or even any of the guys who were dressed in the character, no one ever said anything to me where you just, you know, they felt uneasy or they felt uncomfortable. If anything, the only time I was ever really worried about something was during one of the Freddy shoots that I did in that old abandoned mill. And the only thing I was afraid of was like, what do you call them? That people, not poachers, but God damn it. What's that word?
Pirates?
No, not. That's funny you said that. I just watched the Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
Poachers?
It's funny you say that. Not poachers, but they just, they're not homeless people, but they oh my God,
I don't know,
I'm drawing a blank now. I say this word like 5 bajillion times a day and I'm drawing a blank.
It's because you're 43.
Squatters. Thank you.
Squatters. That's it.
WLJJ movie reviews. Thank you very much.
Squatters.
Oh my God. I mean, it's tough.
That's right. That's right. They go into places and
that's the only thing I was ever afraid of, was coming across a squatter. And trust me, we went into those places very much armed, and you know, if shit was going to go down, we were going to protect ourselves. You know, and I made sure of that. I made sure, you know, that's why, you know, I have a license to carry. And, you know, if I'm going to put me and a model and, you know, other people into a situation like an old abandoned mill factory, I want everyone to know, like, hey, don't worry, you know,
for sure. And
if shit goes down, I got our backs, and that's it. But as far as paranormal, no, never once did I ever feel that.
Yeah. Well, of course, with my story, that's one of my big feature films I would love to do. But again, that's a several $1 million film based on my true story from my second year of college. But to sort of reiterate my point is that it's so important that people do their due diligence. And for example, I remember during that whole thing way back in the day, we were over there in the winter, this abandoned farm. It sounds so cliche, but this was, 2-3 years ago. So now there's been so many abandoned farmhouse homes or haunted house movies, but this was our real experience. There was an abandoned farmhouse about a football field away from the road, off in the bush, and it was crazy. But anyway, the point is, we were over there in the winter. It was like minus 30 degrees Celsius to my American friends, not Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is, Fahrenheit, but anyway, and we were out there. It was cold. It was January, and we were walking around, and we had a high 8 millimeter camcorder, and we were walking around shooting on night vision. Well, when we got back, we were watching the footage, and we could have sworn that we caught somebody in the distance walking away from the camera. And of course, one of the theories, it's too long to get into it here. Maybe I will one day, but there was this story about this man outside and these little girls and the whole thing. And of course, we are like, oh my God, is that the man outside? Have we captured the man outside on tape? And I wanted to go back. And so, because I needed to check something. So we went back, and we went right back. This is like 3:00 in the morning. We go right back, drive down the road, we pull up, we walk into the bush again, we go back there, we turn on the camera, we turn on our lights, and sure enough, it was just an illusion. It was some shrubs that were doused with snow. And because I was walking with the camera, and I had the camera low, so Tony will know this, being, a photographer, when you put the camera low, you make things look bigger and taller, right? Yeah. So there was a bit of depth perception there. It looked further away than it really was. And it was these two little like twigs almost that were out of the ground with the snow on it. And because I was moving and I was walking, it made it look like these twigs were kind of like arms, and they were walking away from me. If we hadn't gone back out there, if we hadn't actually done that, we would have gone to the press, not really, but you know what I mean? We would have told everybody that look, we got a ghost on tape, it's a man. And it wasn't. It was a fucking bunch of, it was an optical illusion. It was an absolute illusion. So that's why it's so important. And I know not everybody does this. We were really into, by this time by this time into our investigation, I should say, we were like really into it. So, but yeah, it's, that's an example there where if we hadn't gone back, because it really does, like it really looks like a guy in almost a plaid shirt walking away, and it's like, whoa, what the fuck was that? Holy shit. Nope, 2 twigs with some snow. So anyways.
The closest paranormal experience, and I don't think this was paranormal. I think this was something that my sister tapped into that I think is even still paying for it to this day. I think she's battling some serious demons. When we were kids, my sister was hardcore into playing the Ouija board.
Right.
Big time. And there was a strength test game that she would play where she would put like the Aquanet hairspray. That's what the girls had back in the day. She would put that in the center of the Ouija board and try to lift it off. And, she would claim that her and her friend, couldn't do it. And we would watch them. Then me and my buddy, and now my buddy who would try to help me do this, just to kind of put it into some context here, we're 12, 13 years old, and he's already 6 foot, 200 pounds. Like, he's a big dude. Yeah. And he's just one of those that he hit puberty pretty quick.
Right. At 6.
And yeah, pretty much. While the rest of us were like trying to play catch up here.
Yeah.
So I could feel something.
Yeah.
A force of something when trying to lift this thing. I mean, we were able to lift it, but it's not like we were able to lift it smoothly. We struggled lifting it. And I remember my buddy Matt just looking at me like, your sister's into some shit. And I'm like, I know. And it's funny because me and my mom and my brother, we were talking about this over Mother's Day a few weeks ago. And that's as close to anything paranormal that we ever experienced.
Fascinating.
That I could say, but it was more my sister. And I think because my sister would play the Ouija board, like it was like a religion to her as a kid.
Right.
I mean, she played that. I think, again, when it comes to Ouija board stuff, and if you're not someone who is experienced and you think you're playing fun and games, I do believe you can open up doors to something that's not good.
Sure.
And even to this day, I still think my sister deals with that stuff that she did as a kid. And I think it's that whatever type entity, whether it's a dark cloud, whatever it is, I think it's latched itself onto her because she's gone through a lot of shit, and it's like, does that have any ties or connection to it? And again, it's not paranormal, but still, nonetheless, it was just very fucking weird. And it's not something I've been able to explain and go, well, this is the reason why it did it. You know what I mean?
Well, there's something. I mean, I did have a few what would be perceived as paranormal experiences. The big one for me, and again, people have to remember that this was at a time when ghost hunting was not that people didn't ghost hunt, but we didn't call ourselves ghost hunters. That thing didn't become a big thing until the 2000s. When you had shows like Paranormal State, Ghost Adventures, Ghost Whisperer with Jennifer Love Hewitt. Like it really took off in the 2000s. But when I was in college, nobody was doing that. There were no TV shows where that was happening, and it wasn't a big thing. Now it's all over the place. Of course, there was no YouTube, so there was no, but, and I had to learn about EVP, electronic voice phenomenon. And EVP generally, when I see people do it, especially today, it's now there's ghost boxes and things, they tune into radio waves, and you hear what you want to hear, basically, at the end of the day. But back in the day, we caught a lot of EVP that was very compelling. And this was done with an analog cassette tape recorder. So we're not walking through with ghost boxes, that pick up radio waves. I'm not picking up 93.9 Cool FM.
Right. Snippets of radio stations.
Exactly.
Which is what those
exactly.
Are.
I'm not picking up, Wolfman Jack.
Station,
yeah, right? Exactly. I mean,
you're talking something very genuine on a cassette.
100%. I'm talking like old school analog cassette tape recorder, which is some of the best stuff that you can do because it's objective. It's not, and so, and there was a number of things that we picked up, but I've told this before. I've yet to share it. I will eventually share it. I do have it. It was still to this day, to me, the clearest EVP I've ever heard. And I don't mean it's like, and somebody has to, you go, I guess it kind of sounds like ketchup. No. You see that shit all the time with people. Sometimes you get, clear things. But a lot of the times you hear people just trying to hear what, fill in the gaps of what they think the ghost is saying, right? But anyway, so long story short, we were over there again in the middle of the night, very cold. There's only about 4 of us there. And I had and again, it's an abandoned farmhouse, very small, wartime type. Well, actually, no, I think it was built in 1870. But anyway, so it's since been actually burned to the ground. But anyway, in 2002. So anyway, we're over there and we're in the back of the house and I guess we're ready to about leave. We're doing our investigation, got the flashlight, tape recorder, all that kind of stuff. And I remember I had turned to my friend and I had said, well, do you think we should go and check upstairs? As a sort of a last thing to check upstairs. And, we had been in that house 50,000 times over the last few months, but we kind of had a routine that we would do, right? And I said, well, do you think we should go and check upstairs? And my friend began to shake. And she was shaking and she wasn't saying anything. Now she fancies herself very intuitive and she wasn't saying anything at all. And I'm like, are you okay? What's wrong? Are you okay? Are you okay? And she said, we have to go now. So we left. Okay. And I think we went to, I can't remember if we went back to residence, because I was in res, if we went back to residence or if we went over to Tim Hortons, which is, the Canadian Dunkin' Donuts. And I think maybe we went there because it was open 24 hours. And we sat there and we're playing back, again, because old cassette tape recorder, handheld, like probably the size of my phone, but those old ones, right? And and we have it on the table and we're listening back. And when it got to that point where you hear me on the tape recorder say, well, do you think we should go and check upstairs? You hear clear as day, you hear what to me and to everybody else sounds like, I have no way of knowing for sure, but it sounds like a woman's voice, so I can pick out the gender. It sounds female. And it's just this is all you hear. Don't. That's all you hear. And it is as clear as what I did to you there. It doesn't sound like don't. It? Oh yeah, for sure. And I've often said that, to people that I do want to play it, for people. It is something I want to do. I have others as well. Yeah. And what's fascinating about this is we both looked at each other like, what the fuck? It wasn't anybody else in the room. Okay. It's a female's voice. The only female present wasn't saying anything because she's shaking her hand. And so there's not like, and then she says, you got to go. So what's fascinating about this EVP is that, again, it sounds female. Is it female? I don't know. But the fact that I can pick a gender sounds interesting. Again, I know that this is a common thing now, but you got to go back to the late 90s, early this is not common. It's not like, this is new, this is new shit. And it's like, what the fuck is this? And what also is fascinating is you hear the breath. You hear, don't, like you actually hear an inhale, which is so fascinating. I find that fascinating. Don't, and now was this, let's say it's paranormal, hypothetical, right? Just for the sake of argument, let's say it is what it is. Because of the timing, do you think we should go and check upstairs? Don't. We're led to believe that that's an answer to my question. Right? No, don't go upstairs. Was it though? In reality, was it? I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe it just happened at that moment. Is it a ghost? Is it what sometimes people refer to as imprints, the past history, things like that? Do walls talk? Is there, we talk about energy and, all that kind of stuff. Who knows? I don't know what it is. Fair enough. I don't know. But I can tell you right now, I didn't hear it when I was there. Nobody heard it. And it also sounds, and this is me projecting this, it is my opinion, it does sound like it's a slightly different frequency than us. Like it sounds a bit more tinny, if I should say that, rather than how we sound. Another dimension. Fascinating shit. Oh, I still have it. It is clear as, it doesn't sound like don't. It is, it's not like, yeah, I guess that kind of, no, this is don't.
You definitely pick out what
100%,
it's saying.
100% easily. And there was a number of those things throughout my experience. And there's other stories I could tell you about what people experienced. But
the only thing I ever got was that, because like even my ex, and like you said, back in the 90s, in Connecticut was one of the original colonies. So we have a lot of historic cemeteries, old cemeteries. So me and my young high school, whatever, young adult, sweetheart, we would go to those places at night and just hang out in there. And well, among other things,
I bet
nothing ever happened. I mean, we did the deed in so many old creepy cemeteries, and it's not like I could sit there and say some spirit attached itself to me, and we never saw anything. And like you said, ghost hunting wasn't really a thing. Like, we weren't going to, we would just go to an old creepy, because Connecticut's loaded with it, and Massachusetts, because we were close enough to Massachusetts. So we would go to, all these old historic cemeteries, a lot of unmarked graves and stuff like that, and just hang out there, because a lot of them had like some open space. It's not like we were doing the deed on any gravestones.
No, I understand.
No. And we would just lay out there.
For sure.
Lay out, look up at the stars.
For sure. It's a great place to do it.
No one's going to bother you.
Yep. It's a cemetery.
We're the only two idiots, trying to go in, what I mean? While everyone's like,
But no.
But I never got, and never. Well, and all the stuff I've done, nothing.
My experience at the house on Port Robinson Road, which was the name of the road that the house was on, which is what I would love to call the film if I ever get a chance to do it. And again, I would love to turn it into a movie, obviously, but it wouldn't be just like a run-of-the-mill horror story. It would be that. I would want to scare people with mood and atmosphere and all that kind of stuff. But I would want to also sort of have it a little more cerebral, I guess, kind of like it's about sort of discovering the truth, that what is this? It's not just a ghost story. It's the kids, because we really did. I mean, we were kids that were looking at each other going, wait a minute. Like, we had people go out there that were like, fuck ghosts, and walk back going, I don't know what the fuck's going on out there. Like, I mean, that's the juicy part, right? About the characters and what they go through in that transformation and asking the question. And I can tell you, I don't know if ghosts are real. I don't know. Obviously, nobody does. But I can certainly tell you that my experience has taught me that there's something going on. There's something else beyond death. I don't know what that is. I don't know, I mean, every religion has their own story and all that kind of stuff. And but there's something survives the process of death. And for how long, I don't know. And what that is, I don't know. But certainly, I mean, when I hear don't, it's like, what? Who was that? No, we were alone in a house, just the four of us. It wasn't anybody there. Who is that? I mean, that's not coming from 93.9 Cool FM down the road. That's not, it's an analog cassette tape recorder. I'm not tapping into radio waves. I'm not, I mean, it's just so fat. And there was a lot of that. We had, and one of the biggest validations for me was when I got in touch with a woman who used to live in the house when she was a teenager back in the 70s. So this is the late 90s. This is the 70s. She was probably in her 50s, or maybe she was in her 20s. And I called her at her work. I found a number and I called her at her work, and she picked up the phone, and I tried to make it sound educational. I was like, hi, my name's Dave McRae. I'm from Niagara College. I'm a film student. I'm doing a project I wasn't doing a project. We were just, doing this on our own time. But if you make it sound educational, I think people are more willing to help. At least that's what our mindset was. And one of the biggest music to my ears was, and I don't know this woman through a hole in the wall. I have no idea. We discovered that she used to live in the house with her family years and years ago, because the house had been abandoned for like 30 years at that point. And I remember saying, I said, well, I think this is going to sound a little crazy, but where I'm doing a project on a house that you used to live in over. Oh yes, Port Robinson Road. Sure. I remember that. Well, this is going to sound a little strange. And I don't, I'm really sort of like prefacing this because I don't want to come across as a nutball. And I said to her, well, we have reason to believe that it's haunted. Without hesitation. Remember, I don't know who this person is. Without hesitation, she says, oh, it is. And, again, is it? Who knows? But the fact that we're having this experience, and she began to tell us stories about experiences that she would have, when she actually lived in the house, and so it's just, there's something, man. There's something. I don't know what it is, but there's something, and it's fascinating to talk about. Really fascinating. You can go Hollywood, and you can believe Hollywood and floorboards moving and walls bleeding and you know, people coming out from behind corners like that, you know, video we just watched. Woo! You know, just, sure, okay, that's fine. Ours was a little more nuanced, but still very real and fascinating. Anyway, should we watch the final one?
I love listening to people's stories because, like I said, you know, with all the stuff that all the situations that I've put myself in, and I put myself in a lot of, you know, so whether it was, you know, hanging out with my girlfriend in the middle of the night of a cemetery, having young, lustful fun, or you know, all these abandoned places. There was always that part of me that's like, you know, hoping, you know, maybe. Nothing like, and never like a feeling of like, you know, maybe we should, you know, I'm not feeling right. You know, we need to go. Never. None of that. And I want it to happen. And everyone keeps telling me like, dude, the more you keep wanting it, what ultimately is going to happen is you're going to have it all come at you at once. Yeah. It's going to be bad.
Well, I can tell you that I was similar to you because I've never had, and still to this day, I've never had a direct paranormal experience. Some people that we were with did at the house on Port Robinson Road. But my experience, my validation comes from a lot of the things that we caught on tape recorder, you know, and sort of watching, you know, 6'2", 230-pound rugby guys go, I'm out, you know, like, fuck this, I'm out, you know, and because of what they saw, what they felt, what they think they saw.
Like legitimately, what would you do if like, all of a sudden some shit just started going freaky in your home, just unexplainable shit, you know?
It depends what it was.
Cabinets slamming open.
Well, that's like fucking poltergeist territory.
That's what I'm saying. Like, like, how do you think you would handle it personally?
Well, the first person I would let know would be my girlfriend. You gotta get over here, honey. Holy shit. For sure. And then Bruce probably be like, we gotta make a movie. Get over here quick. Get her. Shoot, just roll. No. I don't know. I have no idea how I would respond in that way. I don't know.
I don't know how I would respond either. I don't know if shit hit the fan. But yeah, let's do number one.
Let's do number one, and then we'll look at Sean's video.
I want to see this Sean's video.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Let's go back over here, and here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This last video was posted by Oleg Petrov, who appears to be home alone, when all of a sudden, a strange noise is heard in the kitchen. He proceeds to check out the noise and captures this.
This creeps me out just because of the fact that it's during the day and it's the lighting of his kitchen, the way he's...
Gotcha.
It's just the time of day.
Okay.
I hear something in the kitchen.
The kitchen.
The kitchen.
I hear something in the kitchen.
The chair.
The chair. The fact that he's narrating this kind of makes me think, although maybe not.
I respect the fact that he's doing it during the day.
Yeah.
See, like when he turns that corner and it's staring at the kitchen, like I do get weird vibes just looking at it because it's the way it's lit.
Yeah.
It's the overexposed window.
Yeah.
Everything is becoming silhouette.
Cameras adjusting for exposure. Yeah.
Cameras adjusting for the exposure. So
let me guess, a chair is going to move.
It gives you a good idea on how to create a paranormal scene, though, because I actually think this is more effective than
now, because this
I like his reaction.
Yeah. I figured a chair was going to move because I'm thinking, out of anything in that room that could move,
is this an actual video of something paranormal, or is it all a hoax?
It's probably a hoax.
As with all videos, you be the judge.
When you find Sean's video, can you just post a link in the chat so I can click on it?
I will. So let's just quickly talk about this one. So again,
chair moving.
Yeah.
It's like, I would have done something more subtle because he already had, like, to not coin or not to steal your phrase. He had the mood and atmosphere of the kitchen. He did.
He did. I'm just laughing. I got to get that tattooed somewhere.
You should. He had the overexposed window. Everything was silhouetted, so he got a good mood going.
Yes.
You just kind of killed it with the chair moving.
Well, yeah, you see, and here's the thing, right? Like, you know, the reason why I was able to predict the chair is because you go into that room, and my thought is, okay, let's assess the room. What is the easiest thing to move? and have it, again, I mean, this would
see right in front of the camera.
Right, exactly. Where it's kind of like, most of this stuff is probably, most of the videos that you watch that are like this, I mean, let's be honest, most of the videos you watch that are like this are probably going to be fake, right? So it's that thing where it's like, what is the easiest thing to move here? What is a stereotypical thing to move? What can we move fairly easily without, you know what I mean? Well, it's the chair. The chair's there. There's a lot of space for it to move. If the microwave had lifted up off the ground and smashed onto the center of the table, well, that's different, right? That's a bit of a
different. Like, what the fuck?
Whoa. That doesn't mean it's not fake, but it's more impressive, because then you go, ooh, that's it. How did he can't do that with fishing wire, right? So it's like how the chair, you can do that with, again, swing set moving, bottom of the chair moving. These are very ghost hauntings 101 stuff if you want to fake stuff. Not saying it's fake, but that's why I was able to go, let me guess, chair's going to move, because it's the easiest thing in there to move and have it pretty convincing. And but it still looks good. I mean, you know what? If you want to play this, if you want to play that for your kids, man, your kids will go, oh, no, that's fucking creepy. And like I said, I mean, there's a bunch of these videos on this site. What is it called again? Something Bub? BuzzBub? Bizarre Bub. BuzzBub.
Yeah, and Dave and I will probably do some more reactions to, because like I said, like you said,
For
there's
sure.
so many cool videos. And again, we're not like, if you're someone who submitted to the channel, to that guy's channel, to we're not discrediting you. We're not, but we're just coming at it from like our, I don't know, logic point of view.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. Totally understand. Okay, I'm just trying to
find
get the Sean video.
I want to see that, because I've heard about that, but I've never actually have seen it.
Okay, so shout out to Sean Clark. Sean Clark, awesome dude. We've talked many times. Always enjoy my conversation with Sean. He is, I'll preface this by saying, a couple of months ago, Sean unfortunately went through a pretty tough time. He lost a couple of his fur babies, a couple of his dogs, separately but very close together. And so shout out to him. I mean, it's always tough when, you lose an animal. I mean, they're part of the family,
sure.
And I think this last one was, I think he'd had him for 15 years or something like that. That's a long time. And really cute little dogs too. So anyway, Sean had made a video, like I said, a couple of months ago. I forget what the exact date is. I should have looked. But anyway, where he's basically saying, I'm just going to get right to the point and he'll walk you through it. Because the video is like, I don't know how long, maybe 18 minutes or something. So, but he basically is saying that something crazy happened. Because he has some cameras in his home. Not surprising. He has a lot of very valuable prop items in his home. So
imagine his home's probably like a fucking horror museum.
Yes. So not surprising that he has a few cameras in and around the place to make sure, he catches any unwanted intruders. And he happened to catch something very strange. Now, I won't tell you what it is, but this is shortly after his little buddy passed away. And, you can fill in the gaps, say, hey, maybe this is my little buddy, one last goodbye. Who knows, right? I mean, maybe. I think that's kind of sweet. That's kind of cool. I totally will. Okay, sure, yeah. But he's going to walk you through it. I won't tell you what it is, but it's definitely caught on camera. And Sean is saying, this is totally true. This is 100%. I didn't fuck around with this. And, I don't know Sean well. We've had many conversations. No, I wouldn't say many, but we've had, several, maybe half a dozen conversations on the phone. And he seems like a really nice guy. And I believe him. I have no reason not to believe him. I have no reason to think that he faked this at all. So, because he's kind of like, this is really weird, guys. You got to check this out. So anyway, there's a little bit of I fast forward it. So we'll just jump right into it here. But this is.
Send me the link so I can.
Oh, right. 1 second here.
Or not, you're just put it in the chat room so I can click on it.
Yeah, I'll do that. 1 second here. Sorry, dude. I forgot about that. I got to go get the, because it's already into the system. So 1 second here. I got to go. It'd be easier if I just do this. Go to his channel. There we go. Okay. So go to about, I'm just going to tell people when I put the link in there, go to about, it's 17-minute video. Go to about the the 5 minute mark. Go to about the 5 minute mark when I put the link in the chat room here. So here it is. Fast forward to about the 5 minute mark. Okay. Cause that's where I am when we go to the next screen is around. I mean, we might be a few seconds off, but it's not a big deal. So let me go over to the other thing here. Here we are. Where am I here? Oh, I'm at 5:17. Okay, so you can see it there. I'm at 5:17. So go to 5:17, and then we'll all be synced up together. 5:17. This is really interesting shit. And you've got sort of the gist of what he's talking about here when I said what he was going to say. So interesting. You let me know when you're ready, Tony.
5:17. I am there.
You're there. Okay, folks. Here
I am there.
we go. This is very interesting. You ready? 1 second here.
Sure.
Okay, turn up the volume here. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Now, I want you to know that this room you're looking at is pitch dark. There are no windows at the front of the house in this area, and so there's no way light could come in, headlights or anything like that.
God, I'd love to just tour his house
And
just to see what he's got.
you'll see a glow
cool.
at the top left-hand corner of the screen. That is another video camera. So you're seeing it's the infrared light that's kind of making a glow, and it just stays stationary the whole time.
This is fascinating shit.
Unfortunately, that camera doesn't record. Only this one does in this particular room.
And Sean's channel, of course, is Malfunction. Make sure you subscribe to
Take
him.
a look at this and see what you think.
Let's see,
I will
Sean,
comment
let's see what
on
you
it
got.
during the video.
Here we go. He's going to comment for us. He's going to narrate this. So I'll just be quiet.
What the
Now, that
fuck?
just came out of the hallway from where my office is.
Keep watching. It gets
Orbs.
better.
That's orbs, right?
This is all in real time.
Yeah, it looks like
The
orbs
film
with
is
some
not
light.
altered or sped up or anything. This is exactly as it was shot
Jesus.
with a night vision camera.
Keep
This room
watching.
is
Gets
pitch
crazier.
dark.
He comes down eventually.
If you were
With, I think,
standing in
another
this
one of his
room, you wouldn't
dogs.
be able to see your hand in front of your face. It changes shape constantly. Eventually, it seems
So
to,
right now
like,
I'm just seeing the
I
orbs,
don't know if
right?
you
Yep.
wanna say lose
The light,
energy
okay.
over time.
Yep.
But in the later videos, that was a cut right there because that first 60-second video ended. So this is another one. You'll see cuts randomly here and there between the different 60-second clips that the motion detectors recorded. What I was saying, in the later videos, you'll see it looks more like a string of light. As you can see, there's no windows in the front of this room, so car lights wouldn't be coming through. My backyard windows, there's a hill behind my house. There's no way for light to get in unless you were standing in my backyard, shining a light through the window, which wouldn't look like this. I did some tests the next evening with a flashlight to see how it would pick up, and it looks like a flashlight. Doesn't look anything like this. Now this next video here, it's going to cut right here, and you can see it's starting. This is early morning now. See it? You can see it coming down the stairs.
Look at that.
That's
Now it looks like a
fucking
string of light.
Crazy.
This is probably
You can't say it's car lights.
Nope.
You know what I
30
mean?
a.m.
No way
You
that
can
you
see
can
the
say it's
light
car
coming
lights.
through
Yep.
the shutters there in the dining
It's like
room.
walking.
And if you look at the far bottom right-hand corner there, those are also shutters that are open and light is coming in. So
Okay, yeah, I see what he's talking
Yeah.
about.
we're no
Shutters.
longer really in night vision mode here. It does go to color when all the lights are on, but this is now a pretty well lit room, and you can still see this thing moving around. Now,
That's
right
fucking
where it's hovering
crazy, dude.
right now, that's the dog bed where JC was euthanized. There's another cut there.
That sucks.
It seems to just kind of be hanging around at the spot where he passed away. Now, mind you, am I saying this is a ghost dog? You know, I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe, you know, I don't know what to say. Now it looks like it's heading upstairs again. There's kind of like the vaulted ceiling there, so
it's
like
crazy.
Where it's going up.
It's interesting.
There is no ceiling above it. It goes straight up. So
I find this much
strange,
more interesting
you know?
and compelling.
When I first got up in the morning, the first thing I did was grab a flashlight.
Is there more?
I was
Oh, yeah.
looking
He comes
across
down
the
in a second.
ceiling and at the camera, see it, you can see it coming down again, to see if there was anything dangling, cobweb, anything like that. But look at how it moves. It moves all over the room. Different shapes moving from different parts
it's
of the
not
room.
stationary.
Not like
It's actually moving through the space.
It wouldn't do this. Plus, notice how it stays straight. It doesn't sway. There's no sway in it. It moves in a perfect straight line.
He's bringing up a valid point that there's no movement to it. It's perfectly straight.
Yeah.
There's no because like if he was doing it,
yeah,
at some point you're not going to have that perfect movement.
Yeah. And if it was a cobweb, it would be flowy.
It'd be flowy.
Again,
Yeah.
coincidence. I'm just pointing it out. Now it's heading over to the corner of the room where the doggy door is. The doggy door is in the corner of that room.
It's fascinating, though.
I mean, if it was just dangling there in the middle, I would think there was an explanation. But the fact that this thing moves all over the room, is just too freaking weird.
He's right about that.
Yep.
The fact that it's moving all over the room, and it's just perfectly straight.
It's just over
weird.
Dog food and the water bowl area.
Yeah, he comes down in a second. Or soon, anyway.
I can't explain this. I know there's going to be people that are going to watch this and say,
aliens.
I'm full of crap. I altered it. This is some sort of stunt. You know, I'm just showing you guys what happened, what I dealt with, my experience. There's more to this story I'm going to tell after this video. That
I know what he's saying as far as like when people said that like, he altered it, or as far as a stunt.
Yeah,
it's just a lot of crazy coincidence.
It makes sense that people might think that.
And
I get that.
The only thing I can't explain, is this video.
The precision of this movement,
and one of the other things that happened, I will point out.
It's too perfect.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like it's too perfect.
Yep.
I believe I come downstairs here. At some point, I'm carrying
like the shit that we were watching earlier. I could debunk that with you in seconds.
Walk right up.
I've been sitting here watching this, trying to figure out, okay, how could he have pulled this off? And I'm getting nothing.
Really crazy.
No, I mean nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there he is.
Watch this.
I might be behind. I might be behind you by a few seconds
there.
because I had to skip over a commercial popped up. All right, there's Sean.
Yeah.
The reason I'm carrying her down is because the gardeners sometimes will leave the gates open, so I don't want to let her down right away because she'll run outside immediately. But for some reason, she doesn't run outside. She usually just bolts straight to the backyard, but she didn't this time for some reason. She's kind of hanging around here, and notice how she kind of stops and turns around. And I'm going out to make sure that the gates are locked. Now this is me tripping hard, trying to figure out what the hell is going on, looking around for anything, any sign of something dangling, a cobweb, anything. I'm looking for, there's got to be an explanation. Okay, alfalfa there. I got a little alfalfa.
And you see now how his light is creating the flare.
That's right.
But that's what you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's where I was.
And now look behind me.
It's not flared.
There it is again.
And there it is behind him there.
Now there is a video.
It's in the space, and then he turned on the light, so.
Yeah, it's in the space with him.
When I went outside to check those gates, that thing came all the way to the door.
Yeah.
And stayed there until I came in, and
It's
then
weird.
Disappeared.
Is there more?
That tripped me out. I don't have it because
I think we're coming to the
watch the videos
end of it
after the clips, and it was a 60-second clip. That's why it stopped. But that one kind of freaked me out.
Listen to what he says here, though.
Okay, guys. So I strung together a series of various videos from that evening. I have no explanation. I've shown it to some paranormal experts. They had no explanation after they went through well, maybe this, and I debunked.
Is this Frankenstein
They
supposed
had
to be
explanation
moving?
Yeah.
for it.
Okay, because I was gonna
freaked
say,
me
like,
And then, yeah.
There's just one last thing he says here that I
Part
think
of the story.
that I think's
after
interesting,
told you.
and then we'll
And even
head to the
I told
Q&A.
one of my best friends this story. When I got to this part, he said I was full of it. He goes, "Dude, you're full of crap. You're making this up." I'm like, "Dude, absolutely the truth." So when I went to bed that night, those boxes right there.
what's the story,
sitting
Sean?
there.
Tell me
See
the
these?
story.
See, so JC's collar was sitting here on top of JC's box. Zoe's collar sitting here on top of Zoe's box. When I came into the office that morning, after all this happened, one was on top of the stack of the records, and the one over here was on the floor. I took a picture of it. I'm going to show you right now. This is exactly what I saw when I came in. There's no explanation for that. Nothing else in this room had fallen down. If there was an earthquake or something, my toy room has all kinds of stuff that are just kind of teetering and, could easily fall over if there was a jolt of any kind. Those two things are the only things that fell. That is weird. Are we talking about ghost dog? I don't know what the hell we're talking about. I don't believe in ghosts, period. I don't believe in ghost dogs. One of the paranormal guys said to me, maybe it was JC, once his ashes came back to the house, and mind you, that's the room where he passed away, that maybe it was him transitioning to the other side. I don't know. So he asked me if he had, JC, a favorite ball.
Anyway, we'll stop it there, and we can let people go on and watch the whole video if they want to watch the whole video. But really interesting stuff, though, isn't it? You know,
out of everything we've watched tonight, that's more intriguing. Has he had anything happen since, or just that
I
one
don't
time?
think so. I think people have asked him, and he's like, nope, that's the only night that it happened. And it's interesting, and that's the kind of stuff that people have to understand. And the reason why I find this, okay, so there's a couple thoughts. The reason why I believe Sean is because, like I said, I've talked to Sean a number of times. I have no reason not to believe him. He seems like a stand-up guy. He's always been very nice to me. He seems like an honorable guy. And if something like that was to happen, he would be like, guys, got to fucking check this out. So that's number one. Number two is, in my experience, and granted it goes back many years ago, but in my experience with the paranormal, it usually is like that. It's very nuanced. It's very subtle. It's not Hollywood movie. It's not to say that
cabinet doors aren't opening.
Right.
Shit's not flying around.
Right. It's not to say that those things don't happen, can't happen. I mean, there's tons of stories about
now,
poltergeists.
Shit falling is different from shit flying around.
Oh, for sure.
That is
for sure
different.
it is. For sure it is. 100%.
To be clear.
100%.
So.
But, when I see videos of like creatures, their heads come out and do this kind of thing, or I see like a chair get thrown across. It's not that those, listen, there's lots of stories out there, Conjuring, Amityville. I mean, who knows, right? Who knows? Poltergeist, that's a whole other thing. But when I see something like this, it's like, that's usually the experience that you have. You pick something up on camera, you're like, what is that? What the fuck? That's so weird. Oh my God, and it's really fascinating. And what's compelling it now, again, could this have been digitally added? 100%. Absolutely could have been digitally added, for sure. That is a very easy, with somebody who knows what they're doing, 100%. But let's take Sean at his word. It's not. It was caught on his camera. It is moving through the space. Because the first thing I thought of when I watched it, I watched it shortly after he uploaded the video, I thought the first thing was, is that like a spider web or like a cobweb that's kind of like dangling in the light from outside or something? And I mean, this thing moves through the space,
precision.
with precision. So there is, dare I say it, an intelligence to it of some sort, like it is moving through the space. It's completely still. It's not waving in the wind like a cobweb, It's there obviously for quite some time, long before he comes down. It changes too. I mean, when it first arrived, it was more of that like orb ball-y kind of light. And then a little while later, it's like this long strand kind of stuff. I have seen photos of lights that look like that people say are paranormal. So, I mean,
the orbs.
Yeah. And we got a lot of orbs way back in the day too. I mean, but then again, orbs can also be dust particles, or rain droplets, you know this as a photographer. So, that's why it doesn't mean that orbs aren't really something, but when dust particles and raindrops can look exactly like a ghost, I mean, it's hard to, I don't know. It's so hard, it kind of remains a mystery, but that's why I wanted to show this. Cause I was like, this is the stuff I like. Cause it's kind of like, what the fuck? So shout out to Sean Clark and his YouTube channel, Malfunction. It's a play on his word, Sean, malfunction, get it? Make sure you go over there and subscribe to Sean because, of course, he's got great, especially if you're a Halloween fan, you're going to want to subscribe to Sean. So, pretty cool stuff indeed.
Good shit.
What do you think, Tony? What do you think? Anything?
I thoroughly enjoyed doing this, and I'm looking forward to doing more of these shows, these specific shows with you, periodically, because it is interesting to talk about paranormal stuff. And again, not taking away anything from the videos that we watched earlier. No, maybe they are genuine.
Maybe they are.
Who fuck knows?
Who knows?
I think if you're going to try to pull off something paranormal, I think, first of all, you got to think small. Like Dave said, I think it's more subtle than it is. Not saying extreme shit don't happen, right. But when you listen to even like the Perrin family, when they talk about the stuff that they went through at that farmhouse, what The Conjuring is based off of, a lot of it was subtle stuff. Yeah. A lot of it was uneasy feelings. A lot of it was the kids getting sick. It wasn't the extreme stuff that we see in the movies, but I also understand, like you said earlier, a video like Bizarre Bub, or a channel like Bizarre Bub, I should say, is great if you're up at 3 a.m. and you want to be creeped out. Fucking great channel to watch that
for shit, sure.
Because there are like, even though we were laughing at it, as far as the young couple, the guy carrying the girl across the threshold there, and the creepy Muppet pops out, we know it's fake, but it's fucking, if you're watching it at 3 a.m., like, okay, that's trippy.
I know.
You know what I mean? It's creepy, trippy. So, but
if you're watching that stuff at 3 a.m., yeah, and especially if you're like, if you're teenagers,
video, that's the kind of shit, like that's the shit I would love to, hopefully, maybe there's other videos out there that we'll be able to find and watch stuff like that. Cause that's the stuff that like,
there are,
things that make me go, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what the fuck this shit is.
Yeah.
I have no way of explaining it. Cause like, I said, when Sean was flashing his flashlight and you were catching that flare, that's what my mind was thinking. But my God, the precision movement of that, a flare wouldn't do that.
No.
It is too perfect.
Yes, exactly. I mean? It wouldn't. And it's not a dangling cobweb either. Exactly. It's like, if it was a dangling cobweb, it would blow and you would see it blow in a certain direction, but it wouldn't move through the space. It's like a floating helium balloon without the balloon.
Yes.
Right? It's like a balloon that's just kind of moving through the space. It's fascinating stuff, man. Weird. It's really cool stuff. Let's head over to the Q&A. All right, get your questions in, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to hit the Q&A. We should have an intro for the Q&A. Like, Q&A.
Yeah, like old school radio.
Yeah,
shit.
have like a
dude. You're a voice guy. Come on, you can make it.
I'll get it. Yeah, get you some drop. What do they call that? Drops, that's right. Yeah.
Sweepers,
drops. Yeah, get it in
bumpers,
there. No, Q&A. Reminds me of my college radio days. All right, Leo Ivosi, hopefully I've said that right, sends in $5. Thank you, Leo. Says, hello, I wrote a treatment draft sequel to your film, It's Me, Billy. That's cool. It picks up right off from the end of your film. Where can I send the draft to? Well, you can, there's two things I want to say. Number one is we're not taking submissions from people, we're not taking submissions from people. We're not looking for stories from people for a sequel to It's Me, Billy. We would write that ourselves. But if you want to send it to me, you can reach out to me on my. So like if you want to send it to me and it's tricky. I'm curious because it's me, Billy, but at the same time, I don't want to give you unrealistic expectations because I don't accept unsolicited material or that kind of thing. Not because I don't think it might be great or maybe some others said they're great. It's just that I did it once and the floodgates opened and everybody wanted me to read their stuff. And I just don't have time to do that. So if you're looking to send it to me because you're hoping that it's something that we would take and actually make as the sequel to It's Me, Billy, that's not going to happen because I can't say too much at the moment. Hopefully we'll be able to say more very soon, but that is something that we're tackling on this end. And the reason for that is because it is already a complete story. So when we shot It's Me, Billy, we shot the first half of the story. As I've said many, many times. So we just now have to turn the other half into a screenplay. And to do that. So it's not like we're there kind of going, what are we going to do here? No, we already know what we're going to do. It's just that the moment when she goes, Grandma, was a natural end point on a cliffhanger where we thought, hey, let's end the first part there because we're not going to raise enough to be able to do the whole thing. And then we'll divide it into sort of 2 episodes. I'm
waiting for It's Me, Billy, the musical.
That's right. Yes, that's going to happen too. Yeah. So if that's what you're hoping for, I have to be honest, unfortunately, that's not going to happen. Who knows? Maybe you wrote something that is completely in line with what we're going to do. But I am curious because It's Me, Billy. So, if you want to send it to me, that's fine. Send it to my Facebook page, Many Things Dave McRae. You can DM me there. But I'm not, I have to be honest, I'm not looking to give technical feedback and go back and forth, with this kind of thing or to use it. It's not personal. I don't know you. It might be amazing. Who knows? But like I said, we already have the story complete. We just have to, it's I can't say too much at the moment. But I appreciate the super chat nonetheless. And what's really flattering about this, dude, is that you've gone and done this. And I think that's really cool. And like I said, because it's Billy, send it to me, and I'll look it over and maybe I'll let you know what I think. But yeah, just so we're clear, just keep that in mind. Okay. New Nightmare sends in $4.99, says, hey dudes, not sure if this is one of your picked out channels, but a really good one. Is Nuke Top 5. Highly recommend him. Great guy with good picks. Okay. Nuke's Top 5. Thank you, Nightly. Nightly, of course, speaking of It's Me, Billy, one of our executive producers. Thank you, Nightly. We'll definitely check that out.
Nuke? Like as in I'm going to nuke somebody?
Yeah, Nuke's Top 5. Nuke's Top 5.
Like nuclear bomb?
Yeah. Okay. NUKE''S.
I'll check that out.
Unimpressive Media sends in €5 and says, hey guys, do you think there would be a disappointment for some if the paranormal to be concretely proved as the mystery would no longer be there? Yes, I do. I think if we were to prove without a shadow of a doubt that the paranormal exists and we're able to actually quantify and know and measure.
Oh, like if we knew, like if there was definitely an afterlife.
Yeah, ghosts and all that kind of stuff. Would it ruin sort of the mystery? And 100%.
It would, but at the same time, it would be comforting knowing that there's more after this, like
yes,
there's that side of it.
Well,
like,
it all
there's that comfort of like, hey, all right, well,
that's true too.
Part 2.
That's true too. To
be honest with you, I've always thought of the afterlife, and this goes back to even when I was a kid. I grew up in a very church-going family household, and even when I was going to church and all that stuff like that, and I would hear the pastors and all that stuff, I always pictured the afterlife as the best moment in your life. Okay. And it's just on repeat, basically, so like whatever my happiest time is, whatever my happiest place is,
right.
Maybe it's my childhood and, whatever, or whatever it is, but you're also at your physical peak too. Physically you're
so like
you're there
18
you're whatever 22 years old, and you're at your physical peak, but you're also in whatever you create your own heaven, you know what I mean?
Right, that'd be cool.
And that's your afterlife, so like, and I always say, like, for me, if I were creating my own heaven, I would basically just repeat 1989 all over again, and as long as I can get everything that's dated back from 89 to back,
right,
so that I have all the movies that I love, all the music that I love. I don't care for technology. I'm not really going to lose out on anything, because really with technology, the only thing that you and I didn't have back in the day that we have now is basically social media. We had computers, we had music, we had
computers. Well, we had computers, but I mean, it was very futile.
It was very.
I mean, I remember buying a computer,
we didn't have it like what we have today, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm saying, like, I wouldn't miss it. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't miss, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that would be my idea of the perfect heaven, just living in
very cool
1989 on repeat.
Very cool.
Fall and winter of 89. So that I can take pictures.
All right.
Because I want to do that.
All right. There you have it. Excuse me here. Fast Forwards 289 sends in $9.99. Thank you, buddy. Says, what's up, D&T? Can't stay, but wanted to drop in and say hello and show some support to the channel. Watch y'all later. Take care. Thank you very much, Fast Forwards. Really appreciate that. Hope you're doing well. Destiny Falconer sends in $1.99. Thank you, Destiny. Says, we need a 2 dudes ghost hunting show. That would be crazy. It's kind of it, yeah. That would be fun. That'd be a lot of fun. That'd be cool, actually. That'd be a lot of fun. Thank you, Destiny, for the super chat. Appreciate that. Terry Gold sends in $5, says, love the show, guys. Thank you, Terry. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Appreciate you saying that. Let's see here. Just want to make sure I've got, okay. And then that comes in after Terry's Booster Seat. Booster Seat sends in $2 and says, Lori becomes depressed and kills herself in HNs.
Sounds about
I don't know. Does she? It's a question. I don't know. I have no idea. No, I don't think so. I don't think they would do that.
Why not?
Yeah, well, I mean, you never know. You never know, but I don't know if she would do that. Let me see here. Juan Rivera says, I have a question. When and if you finish the rest of Billy, will you put all the parts together and make one big movie? Yeah, that is something that we've talked about. We would release chapter 2 as its own film, as well, its own separate. So you have like 2 parts. But then we would probably put them together and, because we have talked about this at a later date. And release sort of, I don't know, the Billy cut or something or whatever, right? Where then you just have like, I don't know how long it would be. I mean, the first one's 42 minutes with credits, but you would take out the credits, of course, right? So you would have about 38 minutes and then you would tack on, let's say another, I don't know if you'd hit quite feature length, but it depends how you're measuring feature. But it's possible we might get maybe a 75 minute movie out of it. I'm not sure. If the first one is 38 minutes without credits and the next one ends up being another 40 minutes with credits, I mean,
it's a feature. Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty close. So, yes, that is something that we have talked about, but, first things first. Matthew Farisi sends in $4.99, says, Dave, I have a feeling you could pull off a really eerie paranormal film filled with mood and atmosphere. I have that feeling too. Yeah, because I think, and I agree with that, because I think you would take
what I like on the paranormal side of it, the subtle approach, you know, and really like build that suspense, you know what I mean? It really get people to go like, all right, what's, you know what I mean? And not like, I can't say for sure, but I don't think you would do like a total, like over the top ending, like The Conjuring did. You know what I mean? Like
no.
That extreme.
No. Well, like, I mean, like I said, so Port Robinson Road, which is the name of the street that the house was on, whether, you know, if I get a chance to do that movie, if it ends up being called Port Robinson Road, I don't know, but I've always had it in my mind that that's what it would be called, because that's what the script is called. Now when I say script, I mean, like, I've written several drafts of this Port Robinson Road script over the last almost 20 years. Because I think I started writing it in 2005 or something. And it's gone through several drafts, several rewrites. It definitely needs a set of... I think I'm a better script writer now than I was when I wrote it. But it's gone through many different drafts. And I think it's a compelling story. Like I said, it is a horror movie, I guess, but it's not like a Amityville film or anything. Not there's anything wrong with that, but it's not overly sensational. There's a few little things in there that I added for the sake of entertainment, of course, but it's not over the top. It's just sort of complementary to what's already true. And maybe I sensationalize it just a bit for dramatic effect. But it really is about the question of what's after death? Is there something after death? And so it's kind of like like I would make it very sort of, you know, it's, I don't know, highbrow maybe perhaps. I don't know. You know how that's a thing that people say now, but it wouldn't just be like a cheap, you know, thing. You know what I mean? I'd want it to have some weight. Like it would be like, you know, like an A24 more kind of mature kind of thing, but really scary and lots of mood and atmosphere and, you know, kind of like balancing it all, you know, and all that kind of shit. And yeah, I'd love to do it, man. The script needs a couple of rewrites to kind of get it, you know, where it needs to be, but I would love to do it for sure. Cause I would
love to see it.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. Jordan Ellis sends in $9.99. Thank you, Jordan. Says, hey, Dave, I saw Dylan's New Nightmare is going into production soon on Indiegogo. How are you feeling about bringing your version of Freddy to life? Very excited to see this and get the Blu-ray. Yes, we are hoping to go to production this fall. Nice. And so that is something that hopefully is going to happen. I'm excited about it. I'm eager to work with Cecil and with Miko and with Vince and you know, and just sort of bring Freddy Krueger back to life, like what Vince has done with Jason, what we've done with Billy, Cecil's trying to do with Freddy, when the studios don't do it or they get it wrong, in the case of Black Christmas. So I'm looking forward to it. Yes, I am. I feel good.
It's gonna be exciting. Can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I feel good. I feel good. Like I don't have any qualms or concerns or anything. It's exciting because the reason why I said yes to it was because of who was involved. And I don't just mean Miko. I mean, yeah, it's great to work with Miko, sure, but at the end of the day, filmmaking, as Tony knows, is a collaborative effort. It's a team effort. And I like Cecil a lot. I like his filmmaking sensibilities. I like Vince a lot. I like his filmmaking sensibilities. I like the people that are involved. And, I'm a professional and I would never put myself in a position that I didn't feel comfortable or that I didn't feel that I wanted to work with these people. And so I'm excited to work with everybody. And Nora Hewitt and her wife, Rachel, who are going to be doing my makeup, who did the cast. I mean, they're fantastic. I mean, she's worked on Ghostbusters, The Mandalorian. I mean, she's amazing. She's so talented. Her and her wife are just awesome. Can't wait to work with them because I'm going to be sitting in the makeup chair for 3 hours every morning. So we'll get to know each other pretty well. So it's the team. It's the team, Yeah, really excited about it. Booster Seat sends in $2 and says, will you ever start doing live call-ins on phone? I looked into that and probably not. Probably not. At least not now. It's not something I'm actively thinking about at the moment. That would be interesting, though.
Yeah, it would.
Hey, Dave. Get trolls. That's what I'd get. Cody Snyder sends in $5. Here's some money. I love that.
I don't think your trolls would call in.
No, they probably wouldn't have the guts to. Because Because you notice that
there's a sense of security when they're just all they have to do is type. But
yeah, of course,
actually to confront, to put their voice out there. Yeah.
Like if I invited a troll to come on visually with me right now, you think they would come on? No. You kidding? They wouldn't have the balls to do that because they know I'd destroy them. That's why.
Dave the Destroyer.
I love that. Here's some money. Cody Snyder, here's some money. Here's some money.
Here's some money. You should have done that you should have done it in the Trump voice. Here's some money.
Here's some money. Think it's great. Absolutely love it.
I got billions to get rid of.
I got billions. Here's some money. I love it. Okay, that's great. Okay. Dark Light sends in $2, says, have you seen the 1987 slasher Slaughterhouse Bacon Bits? No! There's a movie called Slaughterhouse Bacon Bits? Really?
Never even heard of it until just now.
I've never heard of this. Slaughterhouse Bacon Bits.
Bacon Bits.
I'm going to have to check this out. That sounds amazing. Dreed Mem 77 sends in $10, says, D&T, do you think Halloween Ends will be a hybrid release like Kills? A hybrid release like Kills? Or do you think it'll be a strict theatrical? Oh, I see. Like theatrical. I think it will be theatrical.
Yeah, I think we've gone back to theatrical.
Pretty much.
For how long? I don't know, because movies, it's kind of hit and miss right now. Top Gun obviously has done very well. Top Gun's done great. It's hit or miss, you know. I didn't see Jurassic Park. I don't know if it did well or if it didn't do well over the weekend.
It did do well. It did well.
Yeah. So
the critics hate it, but the movie did well financially.
Yeah. So I think we're there. I think we're at that point where it's back to, theater first, I think. I don't really see a reason why we would need to do the hybrid at this point. I don't
think so. No. I mean, unless something changes in the fall and all of a sudden, we're back to square one, which is, I guess, entirely possible.
Yeah, of course, because we have an election coming up in the fall.
There you go.
Yeah, it's very possible that we'll be back to square one.
It's always possible. It's always possible.
Yeah.
But I do think
I think it's theater.
Yeah,
it's gonna be.
Yeah, I think it'll be theatrical only. Just another horror fan, horror with a W, says that Dave, is losing weight going to affect your Freddy face? Are they going to have to do it again? Okay, so for what just another horror fan is talking about, I said that I guess it was last week's show. I said that I've lost about 10 pounds.
Oh, I was like, wait, where did this come out of?
No.
Last week we did talk about at the beginning of this, right?
Yeah. So I weigh pretty much what I weighed in high school. So I'm about 156 pounds right now, which is perfect for my height. You know what I mean? When I got the cast done on my face, I was about 167 or so. So I've lost about 10 pounds or so. And of course, that's, as I said, if you're 6'2" and 240 pounds, losing 10 pounds is not really a big deal. But when you're 5'8", losing 10 pounds, you really feel it, you notice it, and I just did it by eating a bit better. My runs went from 5K to 7K, and I feel great. I like to think I look good too. So, but no. It's not enough. It's not. I mean, my face probably still looks the same as it did 6 months ago when I was 10 pounds heavier. So I don't think I notice a bit of a difference, but I don't think that's going to have any effect whatsoever. If I was like 250 pounds and I lost 100 pounds, then maybe, yes, I think that might be an issue. I don't know. I wish Nora was here because she's the expert. I'd have to be like, hey, Nora, would that have an effect? She might be like, well, actually, you would think it would, but actually, if we do this and this, who knows? I have no idea. She's the expert. I'm not. But going from 167 to 156 or whatever, no, I don't think that's going to have any effect whatsoever. Matthew Farisi, but Dave, says Cody Snyder. Matthew Farisi sends in a $9.99, says, since the Halloween talk has already made its way into the fall, should we be worried about the reshoots? Could Blumhouse be wimping out on an ending? Okay.
There was reshoots?
Yeah, they're doing some reshoots. So
they do that like literally in every movie, right?
Well, okay, so I understand, but I just think because so many people, including myself and many other people, including reputable film pundits have even said this, don't worry about reshoots. For whatever reason, whenever I see somebody worrying about reshoots, I think, do they think that they're going back to reshoot because they've fucked up, everything is crazy, it's all over, it's one big, it's a mess, it's chaos, they got to go out back. Reshoots are, especially today, are part of making a movie. Now, of course, it would depend on what level you're working at, if you can afford to do it. But when it comes to most Hollywood movies, most studio release movies, especially if they're tentpole films, like big blockbuster movies, studios will often budget for it. We'll often say, okay, well, this is a $200 million movie. The chances of us having to do reshoots, maybe not, but we will make sure that we budget for that. We're aware of that. No editor, director, producer goes to the studio and says, well, I think we're going to need to reshoot this. And they're like, what the I mean, listen, if you have to reshoot the whole movie, that's a problem. Or half the movie, that's a problem. But doing some reshoots, 2 weeks of reshoots, not a big deal. People have to understand that when you make a movie and you make a movie, you look at the dailies, which is what you shoot that day. You're watching on the monitor as you're shooting it. You look at the footage at the end of the day and, you feel that, okay, by the time the director says, and that's a wrap, okay, they feel that they've got everything they need right now. We've done it. We've got everything we need. That's a wrap. That's a wrap. We're wrapped, folks. Woo! They feel that we've got everything we need. But when you go into the editing bay, and you're there and you're looking at the footage and you're piecing things together and you're doing the assembly edit and you start to piece it together, sometimes things happen and you go, you know what? Maybe we should have done that. Maybe we should have got that shot. You know what? We probably, yeah. You know that thing that you were talking about that I said, let's not worry about it right now? I think you're right. Maybe we should go do that. Like that kind of stuff happens all the time.
And it could be the littlest things, like maybe instead of a wide shot, they want a tight shot. Right. And they didn't get the tight shot.
And that's when you send out second unit to get all
little
right.
things like that.
It could be, and it could be bigger things like entire sequences, right? Where you look at it and you go, that doesn't quite work for what we're looking for.
And don't forget, they have the luxury today that they didn't have back in the day when they were first making this by shooting on digital.
That's true.
Where film, that becomes, you probably didn't hear a lot about reshoots back in the day because of the fact of how much.
Well, and there was no internet.
Right.
So now everything's at our fingertips.
They didn't reshoots back in the day, but it's not as easy as it is now. Now, because of the digital,
right?
It's a lot easier, like what you're talking about. Like if maybe they see a shot or they're looking at a scene, and it's like, we could have done it like this. So they're not really, the scene's not bad, but maybe from the creative perspective, they're just like, we could bring a little more flavor to it if we did this.
Right. So bang on. And it's one of those things where reshoots have always been a part of movies, but back in the 80s and the 90s, you didn't know about it because you weren't online on social media having every bit of information at your fingertips.
Fed to you.
So by the time you went and saw a movie, you had no idea if there was like 3 weeks of reshoots on, I don't know, Halloween 6 or H2O, you might know that now well after the fact because of social media and the internet. But at the time, walking into the movie theater to see Halloween H2O, you had no idea if they had reshot anything. You had no idea that they reshot. I mean, maybe some people did because it wound up in Fangoria or something, I don't know. But when I went to see Halloween H2O in the movie theater, I had no idea that mask that I saw was the second mask that they used, not the original stuff I didn't know that.
When I went to
I didn't know that. I didn't know that until years later.
When I went to see Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers, I didn't know Daniel Harris wasn't going to be in the movie.
That's what I'm talking about.
Up there, I'm like, wait, what?
That's what I'm talking about. So
imagine that. Imagine this is what we had to deal with growing up because, like Dave said, I didn't have access to all this information. I had no clue.
Yeah.
So I'm all geared up, ready to see Daniel Harris on the big screen. Nope.
Yeah.
Denied.
It's just a part of film. Again, it depends on the level you're working at. I mean, it depends if you can afford it. Like for us, we raised $64,000 to shoot It's Me, Billy. We used all of it on the main shoot. So we didn't have, you don't have the flexibility like studios. We couldn't afford to go out and to go back to travel to get everybody together again, go back 4.5 hours up to Elmont, rent the house again for however long we need. I mean, it would have cost thousands of dollars. We didn't have the luxury to do that. And we knew that going in. We knew that. So we were very prepared, as you should be anyway, but we were very meticulous and we knew all that. So it depends on the level you're working at. I mean, if we had extra money, would we have gone back out to shoot something? Maybe, I don't know. I'd have to go back and think maybe what I would like to reshoot or whatever, because all filmmakers will look at their work and go, oh, you know what, we should have got that shot, or, we should have done that, or we should have been more clear that, whatever, right? That's just art, and that's how you look at your own shit. But it's important when you work at the studio level, again, there's a lot of variables at play, but the bottom line is when you hear that a movie is going out for reshoots, it doesn't automatically mean there's a problem. One doesn't equal the other. It can, I mean, it might, but usually you hear about that kind of stuff. There's been issues on set. There's been fucking problems. The test screenings were abysmal, which doesn't mean that the movie's not good either. But I'm just saying, you usually kind of hear whispers of issues, problems, director being fired, something, and there's like, you usually hear that kind of stuff. Just hearing that Halloween is going out to do 2 weeks of reshoots. Oh, well, fuck, it's over. Here it comes. No, it's fine. They're going out to make what they believe. That doesn't mean you will agree with the creative decisions. Whatever they are reshooting or adding or doing it, because remember, reshoots doesn't necessarily, it's a saying, right? They're going out to reshoot, but it could also be extra. They could be going out to add something they also didn't shoot before, and it would still be lumped under the scenario of the
hey, maybe if we
of
did
the category
this.
reshoots. Yeah, exactly. Hey, we need that extra thing. Maybe it wasn't there before. Maybe they're not reshooting anything. I think they are, but I'm just saying sometimes a film doesn't go out to reshoot anything. They go out to add to it because they realize they didn't get that shot, or they need more to that scene, or more, or whatever the case is. There's so many variables. It's not black and white.
Do what I do. Stay off the internet, because I didn't even know this shit was going on until right now.
I know. So. It's not black and white. So I just want to say, do I automatically think there's an issue with Halloween Ends because they're going out and reshooting a few things? No, because in their mind, they've gone back out to what? Make the movie better. Now, that doesn't mean that you're going to agree with their creative decisions if we find out what they've reshot or like what have you. But, that is why they're doing it. They're going out because they have creative decisions. They have thoughts and ideas of how to make what they have already better, and that's what they're doing. So I don't think it's an indication that there's an issue or we should be worried. It's just par for the course. And many people have said that, but you still get people who when they hear the word reshoot, they think they think automatically that the world is crumbling and that there's chaos, and there's somehow, I think it comes from this idea that, well, if they're going out to reshoot, why didn't they get this stuff the first time around? I guess they're just unprepared. And somehow it makes it feel like they're incompetent because they have to go out and reshoot something or add something. I hope that's not what people think, because it's just par for the course. Sometimes you just don't get everything you need. You're working on a budget, you're working on a schedule.
And I think more people would have a better understanding if they created something themselves, and they would understand that, right. Because like what we're talking about right now, we're listing off, several scenarios that could very well have been the possibility. And I think when you're a creator of anything, doesn't matter what, it doesn't even have to be movie. Yeah. I do the same shit with my mixes. Sometimes I'll listen to a mix back and I'm like, I was just having this conversation with Devin, because he'll always give me good constructive feedback on my mixes. And then we're like talking about, what, I could have done that. So, I mean, it applies to anything that you're doing when you're creating something.
Correct.
You're always going to want to go back and be like, I could have done that, or I should have done this, or I could,
correct.
And it goes for filmmaking. So I think what people need to do is they need to create something so they understand the process.
Right. Yeah. Fair point.
And you'll understand more, it could be like you and I have just sat here and listed off the, scenarios of what they could be doing right now in post-production and why they're doing it.
That's right. And it usually is just when you look at all the footage, you realize, what, we do need that. or we do need that angle, or we didn't get that, or you know what, let's go back out and shoot that extra thing that we thought we were going to need and we didn't. And because it actually will make the movie, that's all it is. I mean, 9 times out of 10, that's all it is. Doesn't mean that there aren't issues and cases where the film is kind of falling apart and they need to go back and make it better. But one doesn't automatically equal the other. So yeah, let's just keep that in mind. Got that. Got Matthew Freese. Oh, we're talking about, the Halloween ending. Oliver Mercer sends in £20 and says, "Hey, DNT, I
thought he was from here, the States.
Oliver Mercer? No, he's in the UK.
Yeah.
He's in the UK.
I figured with 20 pounds.
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny. I thought he was here in the States.
No.
Holy shit.
He's in the UK, the United Kingdom. I have had a lot of spiritual experiences myself that started for when I was a young lad up until now, where I've seen my grandparents and my late father. It felt all cobwebby hot. I get it. And cold sweats with full apparitions apparitions. That's really cool, Oliver. Wow, that's so you're actually seeing this, and it's not like a dream or anything like that, right? Yeah. That's pretty cool. Crazy. Thanks for sharing that, Oliver. That's pretty cool. WLJJ Movie Review says, "Dave and Tony, I love you both." Really? But I'm having a horror movie marathon later on, so see ya. No problem, my man. No problem. Happy Sanjo says, "I agree with Dave. Reshoots can be super normal and usually are." Yeah, they are. I mean, again, we know that Jason Blum has seen the movie. We know that, so let me add this to the reshoot equation, because this is an important thing. Is it possible that David Gordon Green is very happy with his ending and the studio isn't? Because the studio's like, well, we understand why you did that, but we want you to change it. And maybe he changes it to something less appealing for him. And then you find out what the ending was. And, you're like, oh, that would have been so much better. Oh, why did they do that? That studio meddling, does that happen? Sure, it can. But again,
Friday the 13th was notorious. If you ever watched the behind the documentary scenes, It seemed like everybody was throwing their 2 cents in, and that's probably why the franchise got so freaking wonky.
So 100% that can happen. But I just think that we need to take a step back, and we need to understand that reshoots, especially today, are a normal part of the process because of how involved and how expensive and how, tedious and intricate filmmaking is. Sometimes you got to go back out and you got to shoot a few little extra things. Yep. All right. How long do you want? Where are we here? You want to?
10 minutes.
Yeah, take it to 8:30.
8:30 is a good cutoff.
That's a good cutoff. All right, I think I've got all the super chats so far. Cool. So let's see here.
Good shit.
This is good shit. Chester Franklin Jr. says, "Dave and Tony, what version of the Halloween theme would you like more piano from? 78 synthesizer, 81, or violin and H2O?" Well, I'm an OG guy, so I'd go with 78.
Wait, what version of the Halloween theme
would we like more of?
Would you like more piano from? 78?
Actually, you know what? I wouldn't mind hearing more of the synthesizer from 81, because we've got the piano now in these 2 new Halloween movies. Well, I say we get some Halloween 2 theme in there.
Can't go wrong with some good old synth.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Michael Myers says, "Dave and Tony, have you seen the trailer for the new Predator movie, Prey?" I did see it. And it looks okay, I guess. Looks interesting. I think it's coming to Hulu, I think.
Oh, dude, you know what? I just fucking remembered. Did you see episode 4?
Of Obi-Wan?
Obi-Wan?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, I did.
I was surprised you didn't text me, because I know. Devin and my brother were like, bro, because they saw what I had said.
Yeah.
Okay. And I literally, what did I say? What did I say last week? I said, all I want is a show. Vader has no dialogue. He just shows up and starts choking people out. And what the fuck did he do?
Came in, choke people out.
That's it. I'm like, this is the best. I don't care how shitty the episode was. That was perfect.
Yeah, I got it.
Like, I was cracking up. I'm like, because that's all he did.
I know.
Vader literally just walks into the scene, starts choking motherfuckers out. I'm like, yep, that's all I need. I don't care about dialogue. I just want to see Vader choking people out.
Yeah.
The rest of the episode sucked, but that was cool.
Yeah, the episode is not. Yeah, it wasn't very good. It's
but that one moment had me cracking up.
Well, anytime you put anytime you put Vader in a, and you know what?
It's just the fact that what I said last week on the show. I said I want a Vader show of him just walking into scene choking.
But I'm very. I want.
That's literally all he did.
It's true. It's true. I want to find out. I'm really curious now. How much of Vader is actually Hayden Christensen? And I say that because I've read articles and seen photos of the two guys that are apparently in the costume. And there's articles saying, you know, this guy plays him for this guy plays him for this. And I'm like, well, where is Hayden actually? Is he ever in? Was he in it for a brief scene? And then is he just the back to tank Vader? Is it like how much of Vader? Because
because there's also people talking about they seen him on set and everyone was freaking out.
I know, but
on set in the costume.
But the like this article I read gave me the impression that the fight with Obi-Wan wasn't Hayden at all. Close-ups, far away. It was these other two guys that were on set. You saw them in the costume, helmets off. So I'm just thinking to myself, I wonder how listen, if he's not in the costume very much, I don't know how big these other guys are.
You know what
but
I mean?
it makes sense too, because he's only 6 feet tall. And David Prowse, no, but I'm just saying for continuity, David Prowse is 6'7". And you need somebody who's imposing, because Ewan McGregor is 5'10". So he's only 2 inches shorter than Ewan. So that wouldn't look right. You need a Vader that looks like he's like almost a foot taller than him. And I'm wondering if for continuity, that's why you have to do that. So I don't know how much I'm not saying he's not in some of the scenes, but I was surprised to learn that there's two guys that are also in the Vader costume as well.
Doubles.
So yeah, So I don't know
Not
what
really
he's doing.
Stunt doubles, but body doubles.
Yeah, body doubles. I guess maybe they're.
I think it was more the psychological part of it for those of us who are Hayden fans, who, you know, knowing like he's behind the mask. You know what I mean?
Sure. And he may be in certain shots.
Hearing that, it is a little bit disappointing because I don't get caught up in the height thing. I get what you're saying, but it doesn't matter to me. It was more like knowing that it was Hayden because, you know, he that's who, you know, Anakin, you know, Vader and all that stuff.
Yep.
But I think in this episode, up until you get the close up, because if you watch closely, Vader's not exactly top when he's walking into the scene and he sticks out his arm. The stormtroopers are not exactly, there's not a big height difference until he gets close to Reva and lowers her down.
Right.
Then you see that dramatic height difference, which is where I think
maybe. I mean, maybe it's two of them. I'm not sure. But I'd like to know. Because it's I'm just curious. Jordan Ellis, $4.99 says, I know you guys don't take requests, but have you guys ever thought of watching Terminator 2 Judgment Day?
Did we do that or did we not? No, we talked about it. We talked about it.
We have talked about doing the first two Terminator movies.
I think we watched Terminator 1.
We did watch Terminator 1. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. You're right.
So we haven't done T2 yet.
We haven't done T2.
T2 would be.
Yeah. T2 would be a good one. That'd be a good one. Let's see.
Yes, Daisy. Dave just finished Stranger Things. I've already watched it twice.
Yes, I finished. I had a marathon yesterday with my girlfriend. We got some Hawkins cheesies. The people in the U.S. have no idea what I'm talking about. They're like Cheetos. We have Cheetos up here as well, but we have.
I told you to send me a bag.
I know. I got to send you a bag. They are thick. Think of Cheetos, Chester Cheetah. You know, Cheetos. How they're long and thin. These are like fat and thick, and they're like, they're crunchy and they're so cheesy. Hawkins cheesies. Anyways, every time we watch Stranger Things, we grab a bag of Hawkins cheesies because, you know, that's where the town is, Hawkins, and
so
it's kind of a tradition.
What did you think of season 4, Dave?
Well, should we wait? Maybe do a show on it, or
maybe do a show on
I think we should do a show on it.
There's a lot we can talk about.
Yeah, there's a lot, and there's only 5 minutes left in the show. So I will say that
there's a lot with season 4.
There's a lot. Well, volume 1, because there's still volume 2, the last 2 episodes to come out July 1st.
Do you know those last 2 episodes? One episode is 90 minutes, and the second one is like 2.5 hours.
Yes, that's insane. That's insane.
Like, what the hell?
But we had a marathon yesterday because I'd only seen the first 2 episodes. So we watched, 5 episodes yesterday. And I enjoyed it. I mean, I did. You know, I have questions and thoughts on the season, but I did enjoy it. It's darker.
Same, but I'm not going so far with it because we still have a conclusion coming our
Correct.
way. So it's like
correct. It's kind of hard to
go. Exactly, with that still lingering, and really, we're talking 2 weeks from now, right?
Yeah, July 1st. Yeah,
July 1st.
Yeah, Canada Day here. Yeah, it's Canada Day here. It's our 4th of July. So yeah, it's hard to kind of know. But I will say this though. I didn't realize. I mean, I don't understand why the Duffer Brothers set this new because of the COVID pandemic and because of the delays. The thing that's crazy, and I'll mention this again when we do the show on it, but I just have to mention here because it's hilarious if you really think about it, but you know, whatever, you have to suspend your disbelief.
Yep.
Everything that happened in season 1, everything that happened in season 2, everything that happened in season 3, and everything that's happened so far in season 4 has all happened in 2.5 years. The first season was November 1983. And this season is March 86. Are you kidding me? These kids, number one, like these kids would need fucking therapy. And number 2, these kids have aged. Listen, I can suspend my disbelief, but you know, I mean, it's like, why didn't they set this in, I don't know, 88? Like, I know you're getting close to the end of the 80s. I understand that. And maybe you want to use some pop culture from 80.
I've heard some rumors that this final season 5 will end in 89, which makes sense because that would, based on these, if you do it based on the schooling, right now these kids are freshmen, 86.
Yeah, they don't look like freshmen. Yeah,
I know, but 89 now they do look like they're seniors in high school.
Correct.
So if they're gonna do season
they are.
5, in the year of 89 that they're graduating, that makes sense.
Yeah, I read an article today on Bloody Disgusting, and Sean, one of the Duffer brothers, said that season 5 will likely have a time jump. And I'm like, you have to. You cannot it's crazy to think that season 4 happens only 6 months after season 3. Yeah. What?
And they look and I get why, but they do look older than freshmen.
We understand why, and when you watch it, you go, okay. And because the show is so good and everything is so well put together from a filmmaking standpoint, you know, just the whole structure of the show, the way it's edited, the way it's executed, it's impressive. You kind of you buy into it. You put it aside and you go, okay, so clearly this guy's 20 and he's playing someone who's 15, but okay, whatever. But it's just like, it's only 2.5 years. Like I'm thinking to myself, it feels like season 4 should have happened, in 87, you know, or something. Like fast forward a couple of years since the events of season 3, and Hopper's been gone for 2 years. I don't know, like just work on it, make it work or whatever. Because these kids, man, when you look at Will Byers and how he looks in season 3 and then how he looks only 6 months later, oh my God, like it's crazy.
It is. Well, the girl who plays Max, who's one of my favorite
she's aged the least. She looks like
well, here's the thing. She's aged the least, but she's about to turn 21.
I know.
In real life.
Yes.
You know what I mean? She's about to turn 21 years old. Yeah. She's 20 now.
I know.
So when they start making season 5, she will be 21.
Yeah.
And I will say her character and her arc in this, and we'll talk about it more maybe next week.
Yeah.
She's become one of my favorite characters on the show because I really liked what they did, especially in this season. You know, and but yeah, like of all the characters that are kids, you're right. In this season, she still looks very youthful. You know what I mean?
Max looks similar to what she did 2 seasons ago.
2 seasons ago, correct. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah,
whereas the rest of them, they look like they're in senior year.
I wonder if it's because and this might, and
she's got a youthful look.
Well, she does, but also biologically, I think boys grow and look like men, you know, young men. I think you notice a big difference on a boy between like in terms of the physical, the jawline, the deepening of the voice, right? That's a big thing that you will notice between like 15 and 18. That's a big jump for boys. That's a big jump. With girls, you tend to notice it more, you know, the development of breasts and things like that. Sure. But girls, I think, can get away with it a bit more because they still sound like they did, you know, 2 ages ago, right? And Max, yeah, you look at, I mean, you can tell she's aged a little bit, but she's the most,
like the rest of the
not
kids,
like
no.
fucking Will or Mike. I mean, Jesus.
No. And even 11, you know what I mean?
11 looks a bit old. Yeah.
Yeah. She, you know, Millie Bobby Brown, you can see she's maturing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas of all of them, I still believe Max is still a young kid,
True.
even though she's 20. You know what I mean?
It's true.
But yeah, maybe we'll talk about Stranger Things next.
Yeah, maybe we will. Oh, it'd be a good time to do it. All right, folks, that's going to do it for Tony and I here on episode 155 of Two Dudes and Some Bullshit. Thank you to our great moderators, Frank Riker, Tabitha Short, Darren Sands, Chris Baber. Thank you to the Super Chat questions that came in. Some of those non-Super Chat questions as well. They were really good. And if you're watching after the fact, or even if you're watching now, comment below and tell Tony and I your favorite or a paranormal experience that's happened to you that you are convinced it's real. You're like, I can't explain
what
this.
What did you think of the videos we watched? What are your theories?
That's right. That's right. What do you think of the videos we watched, including Sean Clark's as well? We would love to know. Just have the conversation below in the comments section. Get it rolling down there. Tony, any last things you want to say?
No, this was fun.
As usual. No, this was fun.
Short and sweet.
Short and sweet, ladies and gentlemen. Thank goodness that isn't what she said.
A few words. Short and sweet.
All right, folks, have a great rest of your Monday night, and we'll see you next week. Cheers.